Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. This is United vs. Everybody. I'm your host, Sean, and as you can see, we are chilling with Christian Eriksen today. He's taking some time off after becoming a free agent to join me. Nope, you guys know we are chilling with Dylan. Dylan, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Trying to enjoy the nice weather a little bit. How are you doing?
Oh, living the dream. 90 degrees
Yeah.
is the dream, apparently. But yeah, it's good to have you back, man. I always appreciate having you on. I know everybody enjoys it. I know everybody loves your opinions and your insights on things. So it's always good to have you back, man. Appreciate your
Always
time.
love coming on here. Really appreciate you having me.
So in any case, you guys, it is that time again. Dylan is joining me because if you're a football fan, especially if you're a United fan, if you spent more than 30 seconds on YouTube, you'll be well familiar, well versed in the delicate art and science of the keep sell video. It's just part and parcel. You'll see it everywhere every summer. Keep sell. We kind of did one a little bit earlier in the season, I think, with the rebuild option. And then didn't we do a video on like picking a starting 11 or something?
Yeah. Yep.
So we kind of did a little bit of that, but this is basically where you're going to go through the current squad one by one for those who aren't familiar, and then we're just going to discuss each player, the pros and cons, and kind of come up with an agreement whether or not to keep him or sell him. Now I'm going to go through each player. I'm going to put a poll in the chat for everyone, so you guys will have plenty of time to get involved and get your says in. But word is on the street that we're due for a big clear out. We're trying to clear this deadwood. Finally. It's been about 10 years too late for a lot of these players. But we really have to do that if we want to strengthen the way we need to, especially without Bruno leaving, right? So Who knows? Maybe Ineos will watch and maybe they'll start making some decisions. But you don't know. It could happen. You don't know their life. You don't know what they're up to. Anyway, Dylan, are you excited to get into this?
I am. I was looking at doing some of this at work today during my prep hour, and it was like, yeah, I'm thrilled. Oh, let's do this. Come on. This is giving me hope and joy that a lot of the performances this year did not give me. So
yeah, this is the highlight. This is why we didn't do an award show. I know you joined me last year for the award show, and that was a blast. But I couldn't bring myself to do it. I didn't feel like anybody deserved it. So it is what it is. Sorry if everyone wanted one, but the players don't deserve anything. So in any case, we're going to dive right in, you guys. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you're new. If you like these videos, if you have topics of your own, you want to get more involved, again, check out the memberships and learn how you can do that. And then, of course, go check out the UVE store. You can get sweet swag like this one, the original, the green and gold, the OG, or the one Dylan's rocking, the class of 92 from the Cliff. Dylan loves that thing. Let me see who's jumping in the chat first, and then we're going to start from the back and kind of work our way forward a little bit. So get involved. There's a poll up ready for everyone to go. Casper, big up. Good evening, all. Yes, good evening, Casper. Hope he's ready. And you talk about Bruno staying at United. Yes, I did put out that short earlier, just kind of updating people on a couple of the developments, and obviously the breaking news coming from Fabrizio today was Bruno was staying. So go check out the little clip. We're going to talk more about Bruno later on, but big up Casper. Says the only thing I'm worried about is how it impacts our summer signings, but it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. I'm going to be mad if it does, but it's gone quiet. It's gone quiet. We've got two big signings basically in the first 2 days of the summer window, but it's gone quiet for Casper. I like that attitude. Big up Casper. Need to get all the transfer news and rumors. Yes, we will do that. Not tonight though. Tonight we are here with a goal in mind. We don't want to get sidetracked too much. Yes, I did do a quick video. Big up, man. Box. Yo, Sean and Eriksen.
Box, yes. What's up?
But big up, Box. Box is buzzing about the Bruno news. It's pretty interesting. We get the confirmation and then get all the presser from Bruno earlier just to kind of come out and say it. It's not very often we hear, because nothing was ever like super confirmed. So it was really interesting to me that he was asked the question. I remember from the presser, he said, I'll respond once and then I don't want to talk about it anymore. But he said, this is what happened. So very interesting. Big up, Danny. Hope you're doing well. Kai is in the house. Danny Everybody's getting involved. Big up, everybody. Danny B rocking the green and gold hearts. Yes, the match my shirt. So I'm always here for it. So let's get stuck in first and foremost. And as you can see in the chat, we are Sanjay. Sanjay was able to catch the live at the beginning this time. Big up, Sanjay. Good. Guys, make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing, everybody. Let's talk about Onana. First up, I've got the poll in the chat. Onana. Dylan, your thoughts on Onana?
Yeah, he's got to go.
That was simple.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We've talked about this all season.
Oh yeah.
Just some points here. He's too error prone. Yes, I have in here. Yes, the defense is a bit of a problem with the inconsistency of who he was playing with at times. But I mean, I just keep going back to the Champions League group stage last year, where we should have gone through, and he cost us 3 games. He won us 1. I'll give him the credit, like he made that save. But he cost us 3 games. Like we should have gone through, probably second behind Bayern, and we just, we shifted that.
Yeah, like I was at that Galatasaray match, and I was literally parallel to the goal when he and Casemiro conceded that pen, and it was just almost like tangible, like this physiological, just I don't know if you could hear it on the TV, but literally the crowd was just, like what is happening here?
Oh, it was
Justin and I were at that Brighton match this year where the same exact, almost carbon copy kind of goal we conceded. Shot comes in, palms it right back into it for a follow-up from the Brighton attacker who just taps it in. We saw that against Chirke. We saw it against Ipswich, I think Leicester as well. Over and over and over again, this guy just palms it back. And he's at fault for so many of the goals we've conceded, so many of the points we've dropped, so many of the losses. Like you say, at fault for why we weren't in Champions League. I'd say he is at fault for the goal in the final. For sure.
Near post, he should have had that.
I mean, literally the only percentiles that he's are above average in terms of, like, if you look on FBref, are like his touches. So because you're building out from the back, you're going to be above average on your touches. And then just the length of his goal kicks. And that doesn't really tell you anything other than just how long he kicked it. Everything else below average. He's just not a good keeper.
Yeah, and talking about that point I have on here with where he's palming it back into the middle or punches it out. He does it in the worst spots here. Either he stays on his line too long, and then like the back post comes open and he's just watching the ball, or he tries to go out and either misses or doesn't punch it out far enough or whatever. And then we were talking about this. I forget which game it was. His kick accuracy is terrible.
It is. It's awful.
And we got him for the passing out from the back, and he's just it's not good. I'm not quite sure what they were looking at there, but he is out for me. We got to sell him. Get anything we can. We need a new goalkeeper.
So the consensus seems to be 67% say to sell. So I'm gonna move Onana to the sell bin here. Sound good to everybody? Any final thoughts on Onana? I don't have any. I mean, my thoughts are pretty much well documented on this channel at this point. Moving on, Bayern. So it could be seen maybe a little bit as a moot point because it does seem like he will be leaving, but still everyone is allowed to have an opinion on whether or not they would want to keep him around. I feel like for me, Bayern, he's almost. He's one of those keepers who's like he's almost too good to be a backup, but he's not good enough necessarily to start. Just not even for United, but for a lot of teams. I mean, Turkey was probably his level. I do think that Arsenal match was maybe a bit of a flash in the pan. That Newcastle match was just painful to watch. All the worst parts of him were just on display in that Newcastle match. The Spurs match in the cup, not great, but. What are your thoughts on Altay Bayındır?
So for me, for Bayındır, if he's willing to just be a backup, I'm fine with that. Like if he could be a capable backup, I think for some of those lower level league matches or the cup matches or whatnot. But he doesn't. He wants consistent football. We're not giving it to him, and it might be better for everybody just to sell. So I'm more in the sell camp. See if we can get it for him. See if we can get somewhere he wants, maybe that can be negotiated where he might want to go. I wanted him to do well, but I'm going to say that for a lot of these guys, but it doesn't.
The rumors are he's going back to Turkey maybe. So obviously we got him from Fenerbahce. Galatasaray we linked a little bit. He probably need to go just for him. But he's on about 35K a week buying deer. So I mean, it's not like he's eating up a chunk of change. And like you say though, it's just a matter of like, does he want to stick around and just not? How many games has he played this year? Like a handful that he's featured in. Some dead rubbers here and there. I think the Newcastle match was a bit of an interesting spectacle all around because Onana was dropped pretty much altogether for that. So it was just interesting stuff. But yeah, let me see what everyone's saying in the chat. 80% say sell buying deer. Casper says to keep buying deer. Interesting. Bach says it's a case of who to keep rather than who to sell. Yeah, maybe we should have just done if we just done a who we're going to keep video, it would have been a very short video maybe. So I'm going to go with the chat here, and the chat says 80% want to sell buying deer. So I'm going to go ahead and move him over to the sell column. Our list of players is already going through, and there go both of our keepers already. All right, we're going to end that poll here, everyone. Now you notice I didn't put Tom Heaton on the list, mostly just because, I mean, why? Looks like he's set to sign an extension, maybe 1 year. He's really only here for training. You need 3 keepers in the first team. If you guys have ever gone to a match, watch the warm-up. It's your first choice keeper in goal, your 2 other keepers kind of off, just kind of in the middle of the half on either side, and they're running drills. So you need 3 keepers just to train properly, basically. And then you've got your goalkeeping coaches that are kind of helping out. But Heaton is, I mean, he's not like he's eating up a lot of wages. He knows what his job is. I don't care either, but he's not in the list because, I mean, why bother, right? Do you have any thoughts on Heaton at all?
No, I'm fine if he stays. He had some experience, but there's not kind of a nothing there. Like he leaves, okay, he doesn't. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get my other poll lined up here. You guys get your thoughts in on the keepers if you still have any so far. We're kind of moving into the big guys here, so some of this you guys might be like, why are we even talking about this player? Because this is the obvious one. It's not everyone might feel the same. So moving on to the next guy on the list, Nusser Mazraoui. Big up, Rob. Good to see you. Big up, man. Bill, what are your thoughts on Noose?
We have to keep Noose. Slotted, I think he's done well on the right side of center back. He seemed more comfortable. I think he does have a tendency to to revert a little bit to go out, as a right back more so at times. So I think he can get caught out with the wing back. But he did well having to cover those particular areas. So I keep him. I like the grit he shows. I like I like his ability to make some runs in the middle if he does push up, if we're playing a little more aggressively. And he can pass pretty well if given the opportunity. So I'm good with keeping him. I think that would help at least provide some consistency with the back 3 too. He's been playing mostly on that right side. That would definitely help. So I'm a keep for him.
Yeah, if you look at like his numbers against center backs, again, it's those qualities that are inherent to the right back role, the carries, the take-ons and stuff, compared to other center backs. So when he's playing center backs, his numbers are excellent. Like he's in top 10% for progressive carries, top 2% for take-ons. He's still in the top 1% for tackles when you look at all the center backs. So those qualities do make him, I think, ideal for that right center back role. I need him to cut down on some of the risky stuff in and around his own box, the passes here, the trying to dribble across the edge of his box against the press. It just doesn't work, and it kind of gives me heart palpitations when I watch it. It's gonna, and the nice thing about Mazraoui too is like when we signed him, he was easily the first couple months of the season, easily the best right back, in the league, like hands down. It's difficult to pin down the role that he's maybe best in for sure in this system, because we've seen Amorim play him in a couple different roles. He's filled in on the left wing, he's filled in on the right, he's played center back, like you're saying. But that could be like his versatility could be what is appealing. We're seeing a
Yeah.
lot. We're seeing us linked to a lot of versatile players. We're seeing us
Mhm.
play a lot of the players in the squad in multiple positions. Now, whether that's because they can or because Amorim's trying to figure out maybe where they fit best, it's anyone's guess. But yeah, his progressive numbers are excellent. I just like to see him pass the ball a little bit more. And he is a little easily done by pacey wingers, tricky wingers. A lot of movement around the box is going to leave him for dead, personally. Casper says keep Mizraoui. That's a big box. Says I only see Ahmad, Bruno, Yora, Delit as starters. So let's see what the chat says about Mizraoui. 100% say keep him, guys. Get involved in those votes. I'm gonna go with the chat. The eyes have it here. I'm gonna put Mizraoui in. Where's Mizraoui at? There he is. All right, Mizraoui, we are gonna keep. All right, we are cruising. Let me move along to my next player. Real quick. Now this always takes me a little bit because I gotta go make the poll while I'm doing this. So next player, another former Ajax player, another former teammate of Mizraoui, another player brought in this summer. You guys can probably guess where I'm going with this. Let me know your thoughts on Matthijs de Ligt, everyone. I mean, as far as de Ligt goes, I can't convey how much I love de Ligt as a player, as a leader, as a defender. I think that when he was at Ajax, like I was just head over heels in love with this kid, man. I wanted him at United way back when. I mean, future captain material if he can shake off these little niggling injuries, if he can maybe step up the leadership without the armband in that back line, if that makes sense. But the little injuries keep popping up. It's starting to wear me. I think he's very good in that central role in the back three where he can just, you don't have to worry about chasing a lot of runners. You don't have to worry about, you're there to kind of organize, lead, mop up any of these balls, step up to make these challenges if you need to. And I think that that's what he needs to do. Compete with the strikers, clear the box, make those challenges. His percentiles are very, very good. Aerial duels, touches in the box. So again, touches in the opposition box, very good. His pass completion and his interceptions are very, very good. I love de Ligt a lot. What are your thoughts on de Ligt?
Same. I liked the signing when we came over with Maz. I liked him. I didn't really I didn't pay as much attention to Ajax before, but I saw a lot of what he did at Bayern. I liked what he did at Bayern. And the injuries are the big thing. Like, can he stay healthy? Because if he can, that's a good rotational role with Maguire for the next season. Play that center part, and then if you want to have more height, you can throw him on the right. Whatever you're feeling, or left, either one. I think that would be. I think that would be a positive for us, especially because if you can get two big guys to provide more header material there for the corners coming in. That's always a positive thing.
And we just got to start winning those headers because it's getting annoying watching us just fairly clear the danger. Although his numbers are good, de Ligt. So.
Yeah. Biggest problem is Harry's not taking the corners. So.
Right. Yeah, we need someone who can put a decent corner in the box, like for real, man. This is ridiculous. Yes. Rob says, I think de Ligt had the same injuries going on at Bayern, hence why Dyer got so much game time. Yeah, you guys remember when this summer when we were linked and when we signed, that was one of my big worries with de Ligt was the injuries. He's done a decent job of staying fit for the majority of the season. The latter half of the season, these injuries started to creep in a little bit. I think just being overplayed could be a big part in that. But yeah, that is a worry. But most of you guys say to keep him, so I'm going to go ahead and throw him in the keep column.
I think too, because we had a lot of our center backs get hurt. I mean, Martinez goes down, Heaven gets hurt, Yoro gets hurt. I mean, he had to play. He and Harry got hurt. I mean, you're playing him with a makeshift. Lindelof was out makeshift back three at times. So yeah. I think if they can all stay healthy and they can rotate, that's going to help a lot more for de Ligt and save him on some of those injuries. So.
Yeah, and I think overall, just it's a different type of recovery. It's a different type of tactical kind of. Your rest defense under Amorim is going to be a lot different. There's going to be a lot more recoveries, and it may just be a shock to a lot of the players' systems, like physically, to have to constantly be getting back because we're just not. Most of them are not used to playing that way, and so I think that's gonna. But then that's why we're seeing, the cream's rising to the top. Some of these players can hang, and some of them can't. That was one of Amorim's first training drills. Was like, hey, you lost the ball. Everybody get back now, and it's going to separate the players who are going to stay and the players who are going to go. Rob would keep the lid. He says he's a class defender with a wealth of experience. Yeah, I
Oh,
like
yeah.
him. Most of you guys said keep him, and we're keeping him in there. We're going to be moving on to the next defender here. Box says if we had signed someone like Ignacio or got Bashali, we could have moved on Maguire. Maybe. I think Bashali would have been an excellent fit, but obviously it is what it is. C'est la vie when it comes to that. So Notas says, I think our defense is our strong point apart from the keeper. Yes, obviously. There's literally no more obvious statement in the world than our keeper is a huge liability.
Yeah.
But that's why we're selling him. So Harry Maguire. Hit me with it, Dylan. Haradona.
Well, Harry Dona, Harry Dino, everything. Like, I think we should just start playing him as a center forward.
Yeah, right.
I think we're playing him out of position. Now, we picked up his bumper contract, we extended his 1 year deal. We picked up the option. He looked comfortable in commanding the defense. He looked assured. He was the most aggressive. I was a little surprised. I think with Martinez out, he picked up his confidence, and he picked up some of the aggression from that.
Yeah.
And for a 1 year deal for him to give him another run out, I'm fine. I want to keep Maguire. But if you know what, if we're going to get money off players and we need them, I mean, we can. De Ligt can do the job, but I'd rather keep Harry. So.
Yeah, I've said for a while when it looked like we weren't going to pick up any extensions on Lindelof or Evans. If we had a choice between keeping one of those three, for me, it was always going to be Maguire, just because I never thought Lindelof looked physically suited for the league. Maguire is not necessarily a bad defender at all. He just doesn't suit every system, and that's fine. If you I don't think like Leach, for instance, if he was at like Everton and your job is just sit in the back and just look out for crosses and stuff, I think Leach might struggle with that. I think Lindelof would struggle with that. But if you put Lindelof in like La Liga or something, maybe he'll do just fine. And I think Maguire has shown this year that he's willing to take the game by the scruff of the neck if needed. He's willing to be the guy. I mean, how many times have we seen him drive the ball out, carry it all the way to the edge of the opposition box? He's getting involved. I mean, I've been very critical of the hoof it to Harry last ditch tackle Hail Mary in the final, but then it won us the game against Leon. So, I mean, here I am with egg in my face, but I just don't think it inspires. But it is what it is. But I mean, I think he's really shown his value this year. He's been professional about his limited minutes, about his role, which is, I mean, even in that stat alone, compared to some of the other members of the squad, the professionalism alone just puts him levels ahead of a lot of them. Rob says he's going to let him run out his contract. Really think we need to sign another experienced center back. Yeah, I was trying to think off the top of my head while we were live who was available maybe from relegated sides. There was the Ipswich defender on the left-hand side. Forgot his name off the top of my head, but Greaves or something, I think his name is. There are options out there. So what everybody is saying about Harry Maguire? Casper says Maguire keep. He does have his uses at times, more than one. Yeah, I mean he's going to be kind of like Casemiro. I think that he's not going to be playing every match, and I think he knows that, and I think he's okay with that.
Yeah,
and I think that he can be the leader on the pitch when De Ligt needs a rest or something. I don't think there's any sort of problem with that at all. Another year, why not, right? Let him do it. So I'm going to get this other poll in here. I'm going to go ahead and add him to the keep list. I'm going to let you guys hit me with your thoughts on this next player. So let me go put Maguire in the keep column, unless anybody else has some compelling evidence here for why we shouldn't. Greaves, that's his name box. Yeah, that's the guy I was talking about. Rob says Harry's now in his 1 year. Yep. So one more year. We'll see. Johnny Evans is how old now? 37, 38?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll just keep rolling these 1 year contracts like we're Chelsea from like 10 years ago or something. Nota says Maguire has been a true role model of the younger players, stoic and hardworking. Yeah, I mean, literally top professional. He's probably the most professional player in the squad right now, for me, in my opinion, anyway.
Hard part is some of those younger players weren't like Garnacho, Rashford. I don't think we're really recognizing the model of how to be a professional that Harry was putting forward.
Yeah, and this is what happens when the kind of things that you value as a young player when you're looking up. Like some players will look at someone like Gary Neville as the role model, and some players will look at someone like, I don't know, Pogba. I'm not trying to pick on one. I'm saying Pogba is clearly a very different type of personality to someone like Gary Neville. Is all I'm saying. I'm not picking on Pogba. I like Pogba. So, and that's just, I think that might be a generational thing. Gary Neville was looking up to guys like, George Best and whatnot, and this generation has never seen George Best play. So it is what it is. That's why I don't really, when I pick an all-time 11, it's hard for me to pick players from like the 40s and 50s because I just wasn't alive to watch them play. So I can only go by what my generation did. So it is what it is. Andrew Clayton jumping in. Maguire is the best striker winger we got at United. Spitting facts. Give him the number 7. He is, after all that abuse he got, stronger for it. It was fucking cruel what he went through. Just keep captain's band away from him. Yeah, and I think that for me that was a big part of it too. Andrew, you made a good point. I think that the armband in some ways maybe forced Maguire to do a little bit more, or at least think he had to do a little bit more than he really needed to. I think he started to overcomplicate things, and I think it just, in his mind, was just like, well, I'm the captain, I need to be like raising the level. Like, just know your level, man, and keep it simple, do what you're good at.
Well, and he didn't even want the captaincy either, so he took that on, knowing that they needed a cap, knowing he needed to set the example. So I'm sure that pressure got to him, especially like Roz joking about the Greece stuff. But I mean, that happened. I mean, that had to weigh on you too, thinking about your responsibility as captain and everything, and all the other legal stuff going on. So.
Yeah, I mean, players are human beings. I know some people will argue like, you're rich, you shouldn't have problems. Like, we're human beings. Like, that stuff. If it's on your mind, you only got. Imagine your brain, your focus is like a pie chart. The more you have on stuff like Greece, the less you have on your football and whatnot. And so it's just, it is what it is. So, but Harry's in the squad. He's staying. Well, look at that. We got 3 players now. We're in the plus column.
We're putting a team together.
Right, we are. We're doing it. Aiden Heaven.
He's got to stay.
Bargain of the season, in my opinion, quite frankly, if we're being honest.
Just saying, how good does it feel to fuck over Arsenal?
I mean, it always feels good. Like, I go to bed sometimes just thinking about the Robin Van Persie getting the Garden of Honor from Arsenal. Like, that's one of my favorite memories ever. I almost posted it on Wellbeast. He's this guy on Twitter, this Arsenal fan on Twitter. I almost posted it on Wellbeast the other day because he's been spouting absolute nonsense. It's amazing all the revisionism from Arsenal, Newcastle, Spurs fans now that Mbeumo's coming. And now it's I can't believe he wants to go there. Well, this is United, bro. What are you going to do?
We've got 2 European titles this century.
Yeah. So. Our banter era, I mean, Arsenal would kill for our banter era right now with the trophies that we've got.
We've gotten 2 trophies in our worst seasons.
Right. But yeah, having bargain of the season, in my opinion, he already looks ready to be 5th choice right now, even just as a teenager. He's physical. He's comfortable on the ball. He's good on the ball. He's confident. Yes, he backs himself in these situations. It doesn't seem to me like we're prioritizing a whole lot of defenders. It seems like it's low on the priority list. It kind of seems like that with the goalkeeper too. So maybe we see, and it was from the get-go, from the announcement, it was first team ready. He doesn't have one of these like 60, 70 number shirts. He's got a 20-something number shirt. Clearly with an eye on the first team. 90% of you say keep. I mean, is Heaven enough? Is who we have enough until Leach recovers? I mean, it's who we've been dealing with. So, any final thoughts on Heaven? Because I'm just going to throw him in the keep column.
No, I mean he's a future. He's going to be a great. I'm not going to say too much. He's going to be a very good player for us.
Man.
Just the way he's come out, as long as he buys in, keeps working, and the coaches work with him to develop, he's going to be a standout for us. Just somebody solid to go in.
And that could be such a good perk of having Maguire, because Heaven's got a leader, an experienced center back to kind of learn from as well. And some of you might be critical. What are you going to learn from Maguire? Well, a lot, just about defending in general and stuff.
Things like
you'd be surprised at the kind of things you learn. Like this was so I don't like to brag because it's gonna sound like I'm bragging, but like when I sat with Nemanja Vidic at the Amsterdam airport, we talked for like 5 minutes because he was going to an event that I was trying to get to go to, but I didn't end up doing it. But I asked him, what is something that you, when you were a young defender, that you wish you would learn sooner as you got, like, what is something you learned later on that you wish you would have, like, knew, like, going on? And just some of the things he was talking about were just like that's the kind of thing. And that's the invaluable part of having experienced leaders in the squad.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a good time. Rob says, Heaven looks an unbelievable talent at a bargain basement price. Yeah. Arsenal are sitting there. The cognitive dissonance is thick with Arsenal fans these days, man. Trying to convince themselves they're not butthurt about it, but they are. They're still mad that we got Licha from them. Remember, they wanted Licha. Andrew says, we need young talent as number 2 to someone experienced. Yeah. We do need a good mix. We should already be looking at Bruno replacements, in my opinion, as well. But that's another tale.
We need to identify that. So that's
I said it yesterday. I don't like waiting till like someone like Casemiro or Bruno stops and then we get someone. I need an overlap so people can come in and learn. Bring in Hayden Hackney, Arden Yashari now, Christian Ordonez now. Let them learn from Casemiro. Let them learn that role. Get in, bring in someone very young now, like a Nippon or somebody like a Port or Mora or somebody now. Learn from Bruno, do all that, and then we move them on. So, all right, next item on the list, Licha, Lisandro Martinez. Go. Let me know where's everyone's coming from here.
I'm keeping him.
Yeah.
The issue, and we've talked about this before. I mean, when he's on the pitch, he looks good. He looks determined. He was really taking to the system, it seemed like, to a degree. But the injuries are going to be the big thing, because this is 2 years now, 2 years in a row that he's had season-ending injuries.
Yeah. And
I know it's not necessarily his fault for everything, but like, I don't want another Luke Shaw. Like,
yeah.
So.
Go ahead.
No,
I was saying, this is what happens when you get one really bad injury.
Yeah.
Your body just has a very difficult time recovering, and then you do start to. It has a ripple effect with other areas of your body. It's just your body's they're connected. The neck bone's connected to the whatever. All that stuff is connected, and so like look at Mason Mount.
Yep.
Ankles, your hamstrings, they're so interconnected. If you look at a player's history and if they've got a lot of hamstring injuries, you keep scrolling down, odds are you're going to see a lot of ankle injuries as well, because they're so connected and they just don't go away. And in a career where you're pushing your body to the limit and it's all centered around your legs, professional athletes this is why they get the nature of injuries they get compared to like normal people like you and I. They push their bodies to crazy limits, and eventually it just takes its toll. Your body's not meant to handle all this kind of stuff. I worry about Leach's injuries.
Oh yeah,
and like you're saying, a lot of them aren't his fault. Like several of them are contact injuries. It is what it is, but it's those long-term contact injuries that you're now seeing the other stuff like the ACL, and those might not go away. If he's fit, like you say, it's a no-brainer. He's probably the best suited center back we have for this system, in my opinion. He was our top scorer for a couple weeks there for a while. I might give Licha one more season, but he's only going to be fit for arguably maybe the second half of next year.
Yeah.
By the time he gets back, right?
Yep.
Notas has keep, but worried about injury prone now. That's where I'm at. He's going to be keep, but he's going to take a while just to get back. Danny says, Danny's just breaking my heart today. All these top Velez players going to all these random Italian clubs. So Rob says, I voted no due to the 2 big injuries, lack of size. Well, we've seen his lack of size hasn't really been a big. Are you Graham Souness in disguise, Rob? The class is undoubted, but he's no good on a medical table. But selling him will be near impossible. Yeah, it's going to be impossible to sell him while he's injured, especially. This is why it's hard to. That's why we still have Luke Shaw. Like, it's just no one's going to buy him.
Yep.
This is why Anthony Martial was here forever, and at that and the wages. So this one is pretty close. 56% say keep, 44% say sell. Again, this is y'all's channel. I'm going by what y'all say. I'm just a facilitator. Dylan, any last minute arguments before I throw him in this keep column?
No, if we can keep him healthy, like Mason Mount, like he he would be a great defender for the back three, but it's just keeping him healthy. And
Yeah.
Like Rob said, like he's injured right now. Nobody's going to take him. It's going to be a risk. But yeah, so I'm on keep for that.
Or now we're going to be moving on to the nitty gritty stuff. This is where we're going to start to see the anger pop up
Yes.
here. Let me put you guys. I mean, this one is almost. I say that in jest because it's not really like it's going to be a long conversation with these next three. But what does Composed View say? Sell Licha. The injuries are getting consistent. It's a fresh start. No one gets a pass. Besides, it's only going to get rigorous from now. Would like a Hincapié, Ignacio, or Aiden is back. Yeah, Hincapié would be excellent in my opinion. Maybe we can convince some sort of a swap since Ten Hag's at Leverkusen now. Maybe we can get him to take Onana.
Yeah.
Onana, Antony, and Licha in exchange for one Hincapié, in my opinion.
Get their wages off the books, all that stuff.
Ooh, Hincapié is so good. Rob, yes, please hit those like buttons, subscribe, you guys, if you haven't yet. I'm having a blast doing this right now. Andrew wants to know, you think it's okay to expect 7th or 8th next season? Well, ask me again at the end of the transfer window. And we will be doing it towards the end of the transfer window when it looks like everything's pretty much done and dusted. We will be doing like a rating the window, and we will be doing our expectations for the season. You know, what we expect to see, because we have no excuse to not push hard in the league, right? And I do demand at least a domestic cup as well. So, and I don't want to qualify for Europe just through the FA Cup this time. I want to qualify and get the FA Cup. So,
Danny B saying Leverkusen signed Mark Flecken. I forgot. I saw that yesterday.
Yeah, that keeper. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, we'll do that video. We're going to be doing another video, player ratings. So keep a lookout for player ratings video. We're going to look back at this season and kind of look at each player and give them a rating. And then, like I said, rating the transfer window and doing the expectations before we go into the season. And we'll probably throw included in that second video. We'll probably do like a let's pick our starting 11 basically that we want to see going into the season. So be sure to come back for that one. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss all this stuff. But Danny says give Licha 1 or 2 more seasons because it's funny. We got him when he was like 24. He's 27, 28-ish now. He's been injured pretty much almost like year basically, combined everything. But when he's played, he's been fine. Like he's just got to stay fit. So Rob says hire a hitman. We're Manchester United. This guy's funny. Speaking facts. All right, that's a big claim. If that's your name, let me see. I hope this channel is not a British racist bias channel by saying Heaven should learn from a poo defender like Maguire when De Ligt is far better to be starting. Guys like you kept Shaw. Guys like me kept Shaw. Guys like me have been saying Shaw should be sold for well over a year now, man. I've done about 2 or 3 videos on replacements for Shaw. But hey, welcome to the channel, Speaking Facts. Glad to bring your positivity to the chat. So keep it civil. I don't know who's racist. That's so funny to me. I don't understand where the racist stuff came from. That's so weird. Are there a lot of racist channels out there? Am I missing something? Am I just not watching enough YouTube? I don't know. I
only watch this channel, so.
That's right, because it's all you should. That was the best answer you could have given. So let me see what you guys are saying about Shaw. Do you have any thoughts on Shaw?
He's got to go.
He's got to go.
It's not even like, and we go from, what is it, the 21, 22 season or whatever it was, where he had that best season. His passing numbers were good. He was crossing his he looked fit. He looked confident. He looked like he wanted to be there. And I don't know if it's all the change that's happened. I don't know if he didn't really, like everything about Ten Hag's system and the change going through with him being injured. But when he came back and on the limited time he was on, he looked disinterested.
Yeah.
He didn't even look like he wanted to be there. He looked lost at times, which shocked me because somebody that had experience playing in the back three on Southgate's England squads, like that shocked me. So I'm like, yeah. But the biggest thing, like we've just been saying, injury prone. He cannot stay healthy, and at this point, it's just hurting the team. I mean, if we had a healthy left back a season ago, that things change. So.
Yeah, 22-23 was the season of Luke Shaw, in my opinion. Player of the season. He was arguably one of the best left backs in Europe during that season, but it's just it all just went downhill. I don't get it, and it really annoyed me when we keep having to say things like, "Oh, Alex Telles, he's bringing the best out of Shaw. He's forced Shaw to raise his game," or Malacia has forced Shaw to raise his game. I mean, there were periods where Jose was playing Ashley Young at left back and instead of Luke Shaw. Brandon Williams was getting all the starts ahead of Luke Shaw, and it's just and Jose could be a little harsh, but again, I've been calling for Shaw to be sold since middle of last season. I did so many videos. I did a whole video just on Shaw replacements last summer. If you guys remember that one, I've been banging that drum for a while. The guy's got to go. It's nothing personal. I just can't rely on him to stay fit. And if you can't, availability is the best ability, as they say, to not to click out too many cliches, but it's just part of it. Same with Mason Mount. I'm fair with everybody. Everybody gets it. That's why I go back and forth on Leacha, because I need to see that he can shake off. I don't blame him for the injuries, but the fact remains that the injuries will probably continue to pile on just because of the long-term nature of the injuries that he's already had. So, Andrew says, first time watching this, really good. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that, man.
Loving it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, we do some of these throughout the year in here. Most of it's transfer talk. Obviously, Dylan rolls up to help me with the heavy lifting a lot of times, but we do love having Dylan on. He's got really great insights, and him being a teacher, he comes prepared. Let me see the notepad, Dylan. I know you got one lying around. There it is. I didn't even have to. He never even showed me.
Pages, front and back.
Front and back. I knew that he had it. Moving on, Lenny Yoro, guys. Do we need to have a huge discussion about Lenny Yoro, or we're just kind of all right?
Yeah. I don't think we need to say anything. Like he's established himself well. I was a little concerned when he got picked up that injury, but he's done really well. He's been everything they promised. He's still young. He's learning. He's going to make mistakes, but he's a player.
It was so funny the narrative shift that we've seen from when we signed him we stole him from Real Madrid, and everyone's like, that's so much money to pay for a teenager. Like, one good year, like he was in Liga team of the season last year, and now the narrative has shifted to like, oh, we got a bargain. Like if we sold him in a couple of years, like I don't want to, but I'm saying if we could easily double the money for him, like he's that good. So big up. Big up everyone for just showing the channel some love. I do appreciate that. Casper is going to keep Lenny Yoro. You guys keep getting your thoughts in. I'm going to put up my next poll here. This one's kind of a nothing, but I mean, might as well, since he's been getting more minutes and stuff. At least let me know what you guys think of this player, what you've seen so far. Trying to be too harsh because he's a youngster. Maybe it's someone for loan, maybe someone from rotation. Eriksen, you guys give any thoughts on Eriksen at all?
I like Eriksen. I love everything I've seen from that. I'd like to keep him, but I want to put him on loan. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He needs to get time. He needs to get some experience. So keep him, but send him on loan, get that time, learn a little bit more. But I mean, coming in the way he did on those few games where he came in, he looked good. He looked confident. He looked like he wanted to be there and belong. So that's exactly what I want to see.
I can't remember the game off the top of my head. I don't know if it was Bournemouth and Newcastle. It could have been Wolves or something, but it was he and Amos, I think, both started that match, and they were arguably two of our best players on the day, which is really a sad indictment to the rest of the squad, which, I mean, is a microcosm of what we've seen all season long, basically. But, If we loaned out Eriksen, we've got no Leacha, so we got Maguire, Delit, Mazraoui, Yoro, and Heaven. Yep. So we do have a lot of defenders if you really look at it. So it's interesting. I think that Eriksen, it's one of those hard parts with the youngsters sometimes, where you're like, yeah, he's good enough to do the job because he's played several games, but at the same time, will he get enough minutes to the point where it might hurt him developmentally to not go someplace and get those minutes? So you go back and forth with some of that. 88% of you are saying keep, though, so I'm just going to throw him in. I threw him out there just because he's been playing first team. Yep. Notice there's not a whole lot of youngsters on it because we haven't thrown a ton of youngsters into the mix quite yet, but like guys like Kamasin, Kone, I know they played in the preseason or the postseason, I guess. I'm not going to put them on here, though. Oops, what just happened there? Not good. There we go. All right. Clayton says better than Rio. Uh-oh. Composed View says, Shellshaw, go get his Stupinian while Dorgu in the South America we brought in January understudies. I think I read earlier that the plan for Diego Leon was to be put into the resis for a bit, and then just kind of development and get used to the English game and whatnot, which is fine. He's still just 18. He literally just turned 18, so I don't have a problem with that. But I do think we do need some experience. Now, I did see the Estupiñán links the other day. I like Estupiñán a lot. I do still think we need someone a little bit more experience on that left-hand side. I do not like Estupiñán's injury record. I did that video a couple weeks ago of other clubs that maybe weren't in Europe this year as well, who had some players. And I did put a left back in that video who's experienced, plays for Sheffield United, having a tremendous season at Sheffield United. Obviously, they just missed out on promotion. Go check out the video if you want to know who I'm talking about. Danny, don't spoil it for everybody. I know you like to do that. Rob says, nice summer of rest for you. Yeah, it is good to have. It is a little good to have no football for the summer. I know it's going to be boring for a lot of us, but I hate international football sometimes. But everyone says keep him. Yeah. I didn't put Kakonki on there because Kakonki's not really played a whole lot, but I know some people were. Danny says keep, but if we sign a CB loan to Nice, that's a good shout for Frederiksen.
Like it.
I don't know if we're going to sign a CB. Danny, have you seen us linked to any center backs other than that Soleil guy from Udinese? That I don't remember where that link came from, but
Danny needs to hook us up with the South American contacts. Just find some center back way down there in the sticks.
Some of the good ones are already leaving. They're going to like Parma and Bologna and stuff.
Yeah.
Nota says keep because of potential, but agree he needs a loan move on Frederiksen. Frederiksen I'd keep, says Casper. Who's pumping? I don't know. Naftali says who's pumping when in doubt, pumping out. I'm not sure what that means. I'm old, so if it's some sort of hip teenager thing, I don't know what you're talking about. Is that a TikTok? I don't know what that means either. So
I don't either. So.
Rob says I keep Frederiksen in the club. He's looked good. He's looked pretty good. He had a like the last match he was in, he had a little bit of a gap. I think it was just one of the friendlies though, so I don't really care about that. But Compose says we need to trim the squad a maximum of 23 players. Loan or sell Frederiksen. I'd sell him. So Compose is getting rid of him. There are better starlets out there. But this is one we already have. So is it worth going to spend money on a youngster when are they that much better than Frederiksen? RSV says I would sell Bruno in this day controversy. We're not to Bruno yet. We're getting there though. Let me see who's next on my list so I can put him up there for y'all. All right, this one's gonna be fun. I gotta do it and then I'm gonna back away from the computer before I start catching strays here. So ready and go. Backing up. If this Naftali person, if this is some sort of like lewd sexual stuff, can y'all just time him out for a bit? Mods, handle that for me if that's what's going on. I don't know what they're talking about because I'm not down with the kids, as they say. Yeah. So
I'm assuming he's some sort of gym enthusiast. But
I guess. Are you at the gym right now? Are you hitting up? You know, you're not supposed to grunt at Planet Fitness. There's a no grunting rule. Danny V says if Stu stays fit, if he can stay fit, and then that's the thing, Danny. Like we have to say that about so many players now. I don't want to say that about a player that we're linked with already. Like we have to deal with it so much with players that are already at the squad. I don't have to worry about it for signings. Juan Jimenez, yeah, that's one of the other ones that I remembered. There are a lot of South American players out there that we could be looking at. Yeah, Danny, yeah, you mentioned him. I feel like we did do a little bit of a scout report on Lomonaco. But we've been linked. All the center back links have just gone quiet since some of these South American links. So it's just interesting. Naftali says, I'm a fitness enthusiast. Yeah, big up, man. I'm a big fan of fitness, too. Fitness, slice of pizza in my mouth. I'm just going through the chat. Sorry, guys, if you're bored. Get your thoughts in on Dallo, though, because that's who we're going to look at. Andrew Clayton says, how many goals do you think Obi would have got if he played all Hojlund's minutes? I mean, who knows, honestly. It's hard to put that kind of speculation on a 16, 17-year-old. I watched him play when Justin and I were there in January. We went to the FA Youth Cup game against Preston, and he was easily the best player on the pitch. Scanlon's probably a close second. I mean, he's way too good for that level, but you could see he's still got some rawness. So I don't like to put a whole lot of that pressure and expectation on the youngsters, but it is an interesting thing to think about. Dylan, any thoughts on that question?
No, yeah, I agree with you. He's raw. He's still learning. I would have liked to get him more minutes during the season, but Is what it is. Keep him around the first team, get some minutes. If we get a good loan move, maybe take that like somewhere he's going to play where he can really develop in a different system, that professional kind of level. But I'm good with him sticking around. So
Is Cheeto good enough to be our number 2?
not yet. I don't think
No.
so.
So then if we sell Hojlund, does that mean Xerxes kind of the number 2/number 10 backup?
Pretty much.
Cunha and Buemo. I mean, we've got a lot of players who can play multiple positions,
Oh, yeah.
especially in a pinch. So the Composed View says, what about Leif Davis? He's in his mid-20s. I've been mentioning Leif Davis on this channel since last year when he was still in the championship and he was breaking assist records. And obviously Ipswich struggled this year and they're relegated. I still like Leif Davis. I think he will probably end up leaving Ipswich. I think that he and who's that? Hutchinson? Is that an Ipswich? That's a kid's name, the attacker. I think they could see, and they might need to because they're going to need some money. They get parachute payments when they get relegated, but they will probably want to. And you can't hold on to those kind of players forever. Obviously, they just lost Delap, so they're going to need to sell a few, rebuild, regroup, and see if they can make a push for promotion again next year. So moving on to Dallo, Dylan, what are your thoughts on Dallo?
So Dallo, I think my first thought when I started doing this was like we need to sell him. But the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, let's pump the brakes. Okay, he's still a player that can put a good shift in. I worry defensively about him. His positioning's not necessarily the greatest. His tactical awareness isn't the greatest, but there are other things we need to worry about. And Dallo is still a good player for us, so I'd say keep him one more year, and then if we can use, if we could use him in a swap deal or something, maybe use that this year. But I'd keep him one more year and then look for suitors because I just don't think he fits the system as well. But for the time being, keep him. We need it, and we need to try to shore up some other areas right now.
A lot of you guys saying keep Dallo. The problem is like, does Dallo start if we get him Buemo and we've still got Ahmad?
No, that's the
exactly. Issue. So that's in my opinion, it's not even a system thing for Dallo because even in the 4-2-3-1, even I don't think he's I mean, he went out on loan to AC Milan because like he wasn't fitting in the normal fullback system. I'm going to be harsh. I would sell Dallo. I just don't think he's good enough. I think he's ineffective in a 1v1. He's too hesitant to close down the ball. We've conceded a lot of goals because he's failed to get tight to the wide player and has just allowed them time and space to pick out anywhere they want to put that ball in the box. His final ball has never improved. Maybe 1 out of 20 is like a good ball. Even that ball to Garnacho for the Puskás, it was behind Garnacho. Garnacho had a lot of work to do to get to that ball. Like I'm not bashing Dallo. I'm just saying he's not good enough for English football. I don't think he's got that. He doesn't back himself. He doesn't have that mentality in those 1v1s, the duels, the take-ons and stuff. He's got skill. You can see that he's got technical skill, but for too long, we've had a lot of players who are very good technically. They're just not there physically and mentally. He's not stupid. I'm not saying that, but he's just not like tough enough in those moments. He'll pump up the crowd when he slides in and makes a tackle and the ball goes out for a throw in his own corner. But that doesn't cool, celebrate it. But what else are you doing the rest of the match, man? Like I don't know. I would sell Dallo personally. I think he really needs to just go to a club in a different league where he can just be a fullback, someplace like
he needs to go back to Italy
or something.
He did better at AC Milan in that type of league. But yeah, my whole thought is like just to have more like cover because I get the feeling like we're not going to really have anybody come in elsewhere, and I'm just thinking about injuries because for some reason we are plagued with injuries. I'd rather have the cover.
But is he 26-year-old going to want to be cover? I mean, if he were better on that left side, if he were better at any one of these other things, I would say throw him on the left-hand side and let Dorgu be the backup because Dorgu's 20. Dallo's 26. Yeah. He's been here since he was a teenager, Dallo. He was a Jose Mourinho signing. And I just haven't seen, he's like Rashford. Since he's been here as a teenager, I don't see a whole lot of improvement in some very key areas to his game. And so I think he's flattered to deceive. I think that he's kind of flown under the radar a little bit under all these managers just because, I mean, Ollie bought Wan-Bissaka when Dallo was already at the club. I mean, what else do we need to see really personally?
That says it all there.
Danny said he'd be sold already if I had my way. Ten Hag bought Mazraoui. Ollie bought Wan-Bissaka. I mean, we already had Dallo at the club. That's my point. Box says Dorgu was a waste of money. Uh-oh. Lancer says, Cello Nana, his agility is comparable to a turtle on a trampoline. That is an interesting visual.
Right?
Let's see. Box says, if we had Hakimi, Mensch, we sure sell Dallo, but we have Poo as wingbacks. Well, Dorgu, I think, represents if you look at Dorgu, he does kind of represent what we're looking for in players moving forward. Younger, physical, intense mentality, fight, energy, stamina. The other stuff will get there because he is still so young. There's enough intangibles there in Dorgu that I think that the other stuff you'll just coach into him and he'll just learn as he gets older. But you can't teach intensity. You can't teach resilience necessarily. That takes a lot of time. What do you guys? It is literally split on Dallo. It is literally 50-50 in the chat. Raja, big up, man. He says keep. Danny still wants to get a younger, another wingback. I say just use Camison or Montato. Camison looked really good in his cameo against Hong Kong the other day. Wow. I'm going to give it like 10 more seconds to see if anyone wants to be the tiebreaker. Otherwise, I might have to flip a coin or something here. But big up, Raja. Good to see you again, my friend.
Good to see you, man.
What are you guys saying? Okay. You guys, all right. You guys got it. I like 15. 15 is a nice even number. Somebody swooped in and saved Dallo's bacon for one more year at least. So we're going to throw him in the keep column for now.
I agree. We really haven't seen enough more, but Andrew made the good point. Like, there's just so many other problems we got to focus on. But you know what? If AC Milan comes in and like they want to give us, 35 million or so, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like to me, it's like you guys are saying like he could be backup. He could be backup. Like he's a 26-year-old backup. We could double our money on, and if Bruno is not leaving, if he's not going to play that much anyway, according to everyone in the chat, and according to you, even like why not just make profit on him and then go from there? Like you could probably go get one of these other guys that Danny's listing, like Frank or something, for less than what you'd get for Dallo. So you'd technically be making your money. So get involved in Patrick Dorgu. It's almost a bit of not really a point because we literally just signed Dorgu in January. Yeah. He's a player that we've been looking at for a while, and so I don't really think he's going anywhere. But this is really more about what you guys would do, not what you think is going to happen or anything. So, do you have any thoughts on Dorgu?
He's young. He needs to get more experience. He's had flashes of where he's looked really good. His attacking needs to improve. His crossing, his shooting is not good. And we're not asking him to shoot much. It's just get it on target, not sky it over the bar.
He doesn't look like he backs himself when he's got those opportunities. He had a couple opportunities in the box to take shots, and he just has opted to pass it, or he just doesn't like the ball gets caught under his feet or something. It's like he's not used to being in that situation.
Yeah, so I'm totally keep him. You give him time. He's going to need it. So that's all he needs to do better.
Big up AJ Hill, new face in the chat. Welcome to the channel. I think we integrate those young hopefuls and get rid of players like Dallo next summer, like older vets. Yeah, Dallo he's one of those other players who has the opportunity to be leader on and off the pitch, because I do think he likes being here. I don't know. I've seen since last year, so that Chelsea game last year really is kind of what did it for me, honestly. I was so frustrated with him above. He's had some howlers, and it's just these moments that he just gives these opposition attackers too much time and space on the ball over and over again, and it just does my head in because we're so bad at clearing the danger, we're so bad at defending those situations, and he doesn't help. As a fullback, your job you've got to close down the player on the ball. You just have to. You can't let him just have nothing but time and space to pick that cross. And Dallo, he's doing his Virgil van Dijk's impression over and over again, just bent over, hands behind his back, stepping off. And I'm like, you got it, dude. Come on, step in, give him cut off those angles at least. But big up, AJ. Good to see a new face. Composer says, damn, I forgot we have Amos. Please tell Dallo. Nonsense. Castro says, I'd keep Dorgu. Rob says he likes to look at Dorgu, believe he'll get better and trained up by Amorim. Yeah, I think Dorgu represents, like I said, the kind of player profile that Amorim is looking for in terms of fight and physicality and stuff. So Yeah, I don't think Dogu's going anywhere. Like you say, his final product does need to improve. I think once he gets a player that I said the other day when we confirmed Cunha, he and Dogu need to room together. They need to eat lunch together. They need to go watch movies together. They need to go skip through the park together. Anything that those two can do together,
Yes,
they need to do because I want them to develop a synchronicity on the pitch because that's where you're going to see Dogu and Cunha really shine is like the Shaw Rashford connection. Like get them in tune with each other. I don't care what happens. Danny's still mad that we didn't get Nori. I'm still mad we didn't get Ferdy Kadiolu last summer, but you guys know how I feel about that. I don't. But like you said, Danny said,
what I don't think I've heard. No.
Nori, and you know, Danny, like, tell me how you really feel, man. Did you want Nori, Danny? I wasn't. AJ says, great channel. First time here. Finally found another American channel. Yes, thank you so much.
AJ, big ups, man.
Or I just have the worst UK accent ever.
I mean, I'm Dutch, so I don't. Or I'm from Denmark, so.
Yeah, there you go. Christian Eriksen. There it is. But big up, AJ. Good to see a new face. Composure says, food for thought. Did Amorim want to keep Bruno because there isn't any obvious player to be captain? Need the stability for a year, then perhaps sell? I mean, I think he values Bruno. We could have gotten 100 million for him, and Amorim instead chose to keep Bruno and forego the opportunity to maybe resell. Maybe he sees the net value of what Bruno brings is a bird in the hand. Maybe is worth more than potential or not the unknown quantities and some of these targets that we might be looking at. Bruno could still go to the Saudi League in a year. Oh, yeah. And he could go we'd still make money on him. Like, it's not like we're going to lose money. So I think during transition process, sometimes having someone like that at the club, especially your captain, I think is not the worst thing. And we've gone back and forth about this a couple times already. So, but you guys are saying keep Dorgu, 14 votes. I'm gonna end that there and hold on. Let me go put Dorgu in the keep column here since we're talking about it. Boom. All right. Everybody have a good time so far. Make sure you're hitting that like button for me. Subscribe if you are new and you like what you see. Having a blast so far. Anybody else have any thoughts on Dorgu? Box says, what we do with Ethan Wheatley and Dangor, sell them. Probably sell them. I don't think Wheatley's just hasn't shown me a whole lot. Dangor, injuries and whatnot. I think that probably sell him right now. Get those sell-on clauses going. So
Wheatley, I was a little sad. I thought he would do better. I was hoping he would. So it was a little disappointment there. But yeah, if we can get a fee for him, get something, I'd totally take that. So.
All right, next up, probably going to be one of the shortest discussions we ever had on this channel. Casper says, great show so far. You guys, this is your show. You guys are leading. I'm just throwing out the topics and throwing out the names. I'm literally just throwing out names and I'm letting you guys handle it. But I do appreciate that. Like I said, this is y'all's channel. Is anyone really going to vote to sell Ahmad? If I see one vote to sell Ahmad, I'm going to lose my shit.
I'm kidding.
Somebody who voted, I'm going to lose my shit. You guys are killing me. Who's selling Ahmad? I mean, does anybody have any disparaging thoughts? Does anybody have a single negative to say about Ahmad, really?
Just, I don't know all what happened with the thing in Hong Kong, but young player maybe needs to grow up a little bit, but that's the only thing.
Oh, I heard somebody said something about his mom or something. I don't remember. That's what I
don't quite know. Yeah, I watched the video and I didn't really hear anything, but then the video was a little farther away. I don't know. But
I didn't even see it till later on like Twitter and stuff. So I was like, I have no idea what happened. But yeah, I do think to an extent you have a point. Like people are going to say a lot of things, and it sucks. Like they have no right to, and it's just a shit thing to do. But I do think that it's the more mature thing is to sometimes not say anything, but it is what it is. I would never begrudge a player for sticking up for themselves or somebody they care about in a situation like that. I think that it is what it is. Whatever. AJ wants to know if he plays right wing back. It's hard. I mean, we've done that poll a couple of times after the Mbeumo stuff happened. Where does Mbeumo play? Does that mean Mbeumo is going to be right wing back? Most of you guys think Mbeumo is going to play as that 10 with Ahmad taking over that right wing back role.
Yes.
So
that's what I want. I like Ahmad getting out wider.
Yeah.
And I think Embuemo and Ahmad could really have a nice overlap thing going. So
Yeah, I think Ahmad looks a little better when he's got more room to work with. Too often our tens have to kind of have their back to goal. They've got to come a little deeper to collect the ball, and I think that you're just losing a lot of what they offer the deeper that they get on the pitch. And so I like Ahmad being the outlet. I like Ahmad kind of having a lot of that final third to work with. He does better when he's got that space. The same as Rashford, but you can tell there he's very different than Rashford in that regard. Rashford needs the space to sprint. Ahmad needs the space to work.
Yeah.
And that's where you're going to see him really, really shine. That ball sticks to him like glue. His low center of gravity makes him very difficult to push over. He's always getting into the box. The only criticism I will say about him, and I've said this a couple times, is that I just needed to see make his decision a little sooner. Sometimes he holds on to it a little too long,
Yes.
but whoever voted to sell Ahmad, we're going to have words after this is over. I am a therapist, so we can talk about all your deep childhood issues that make you think that. Because clearly that's the only explanation for why you would sell Ahmad, right? I mean, what are you smoking?
Good stuff.
I guess so. Maybe you're having a better day than the rest of us. Who knows? Sell Ahmad says, Compose View, he's too weak. So Compose View was the one. Oh, I wanted names and I got him. Can't dribble, can't pass. Okay, now you're just full of it. You're just joking. I know you're joking now. Literally none of that.
Yep. Oh, look, he got you.
I've been gotten. Or just give him the Cantona kick instead of the finger. I have nothing wrong with Cantona kicks. I've Cantona kicked so much stuff. I mean, you can ask Justin the next time he's on the channel. We went to Meijer one night because I really wanted Rice Krispies Treat cereal, and Justin will back this up. They don't make it anymore. If you ever had a Rice Krispies Treat cereal, it's awesome. I got to the cereal aisle, couldn't find it, found it, ran over to it, brought 30 yards, and just Cantona kicked, and like 4 boxes fell off the shelf in the middle of Meijer. I was that excited. Anytime you can Cantona kick something, just go for it. Old people, just cars, anything, just whatever. It is what it is. People cut you off in traffic. Just is. No, I don't condone that. Sorry. YouTube's going to kill me.
Next shirt idea there, dude. Cantona kick.
Cantona, I could get the Cantona kick going. I feel like everybody does the Cantona kick shirt, but maybe it'd be like Cantona kicking something. Like, what can we have him kicking?
The Rice Krispie cereal.
The Glazers, we can have him kicking the Glazers, and
there you go.
Flying out of Old Trafford. Rob says, I like Ahmad's ability. I think he'll flourish next season as he won't be as heavily marked. Ahmad really, I mean, is there any real person who's going to say we need to sell Ahmad? I mean, the guy is probably our second best player right now besides Bruno, if I'm being honest. I mean, aside from Bruno, he's the one you look to just pull us out of something. I mean, Justin and I were at the Southampton match when for 80 minutes we were garbage, and then Ahmad busts out with a hat trick literally in the final 10 minutes. We were there for that. That place was absolutely nuts, and many Guinnesses were drunk that night. So, lots of fish and chips, lots of Guinness that night. So, get involved in the next one. I did put it up there in the poll. Harry Amos. Thoughts on Harry Amos?
Again, it's going to depend on depth. If we bring anybody, I don't think we will. If we bring somebody, I want him to go on loan. He's going to be kept. He's just going to be kept. We're not getting rid of him. He's shown flashes. He's shown that he's a good player. He needs to work on his attacking. Defensively, I think that he's shown more with the defensive side. Still growing. He's 18, isn't he? Or 17? I can't quite remember his age.
Amos, I think he's 17 now, right?
17. Yeah. So he's playing against men bigger, stronger than him. He's held himself well. And he's only going to get better. So I keep him. I think the loan could be if we can make sure that people stay healthy. That would be good for him. But I'm keeping him.
I'd argue that maybe he needs a loan, maybe a lower side in the league, maybe someone even in the championship where he can not have the pressure necessarily, but he's still going to be playing against like men, basically grown men down there. Problem is, again, we come back to the point we're very thin on that left-hand side. Diego Leon's probably going to get thrown in the academy a little bit. Amos, Mizraoui can fill in there. Dallo can maybe fill in there. We got Dorgu, but again, we don't have player. I'd love to see someone a little bit more experienced on that side. Like I said, you guys go watch that video I did the other week. There was a target I'd like us to look at, but Suter is how you pronounce it. Srinivas. Why are you still yapping? Because that's what we do here, man. We're here doing a keep sell video, brother. This is a smaller channel, as you can see. It's been around for maybe like just over a year, but we have a nice little intimate discussion here. As you can see, everybody gets their opinions read, even the negative ones. So big up, though. Thanks for stopping by. You're getting me a view, so cool. Doing your job. Rob says, Amas for alone. Yeah, he's I was surprised to see him get more minutes this year, seeing as how young he is. I always forget we have Shaw. Shaw's not going anywhere, so no. Shaw's going to be playing in there somewhere. Danny says, keep still young to keep in the 21s. Yeah. So again, it's just one of those things. Is he good enough to get rotation minutes? And if not, might need to loan him out because you want him to get minutes, right? Exactly. Again, but we are very thin in that position. I would like to see us strengthen in the summer. Casper says, keep him in the squad. What are you guys all saying here? 73% of you say keep Harry Amas. All right, the eyes have it. We're going to keep him. I didn't put a loan option because this was a straight up keep sell video, as you can see. But look at that. Still, we haven't sold anybody since Luke Shaw. Are you guys getting soft on me? We're cruising. We're almost there. We're moving into midfield now, you guys. So make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel as well, please.
Didn't want to talk about how we need to have our go-getter in Malacia.
Oh, I forgot about Malacia. I think I might have forgotten about him as well.
No, it's good. I don't think we really wanted him anyway.
Would anybody keep Malacia? Probably not. Can I just put him in the side? I completely forgot about Malacia. I have his photo in there. I just forgot to put him in my notes.
You're good. I'd say sell. That's me.
I've personally wanted to sell him for a couple. I just never thought he was that good personally.
I thought he'd be a better rotation option, and it just never worked.
Yeah. So, guys, get your thoughts in on Malacia real quick too, because I forgot to put him in there. But I would sell him. Dylan's going to sell him. Fox says Leicester City or Southampton loan for Amas. Yeah, or someone like Middlesbrough. Maybe Garrett can work with him a little bit. AJ wants to bring in Leon straight away. He looks sick. He's had a very good season since he signed for us. He's been a mass. I think in the Copa Sudamericana, he was very, very, very good. Compose V wants Leaf Davis and loan Amas to them as a sweetener. Okay, yeah, a little bit of a make.
I like that.
I like
that a lot.
Big up, big up. Tristan Sword, probably the coolest name I've seen on here, besides Slash's Snake Pit. Slash's Snake Pit takes that one. Says keep and play Carabao FA Cup. Yeah, if we can get decent draws and we can go far, that would be great. But yeah, no, I don't have a problem with that personally. Speaking facts, coming in to be the oxymoron of a name here again. Amas is average and is nowhere near the level we saw from Manu or Greenwood breakthrough season as player. I think he's younger than both when they debuted, isn't he?
I think so.
Did he just turn 17 or something? I can't remember if he's 17 or if he's 18. He's pretty young, and he is pretty small. I do think he needs to bulk up a little bit. I don't think he's hit that growth spurt yet. Players are going to be growing well into their early 20s, really. I mean, we just saw Manu kind of hit a bit of a size increase. So, but let's see. Everyone robbed the Malacia, the Dutch Louis. Hopefully it boosts his value. So you guys are all saying sell. All right, let me go ahead and throw Malacia in there. You guys get involved in the chat, the poll for Casemiro while he's in there. Where's Malacia? There he is. See, look at that. Forgot. Well, let me see what you guys are saying about Casemiro. Dylan, what are your thoughts on Casemiro? Because we are starting to get to the good stuff now, guys. Get out your special socks.
I think the biggest thing for Cas is nobody's going to take the wages on, so we're going to keep him. I think we've seen that he played pretty well with playing consistent minutes. He still comes in with those. He's still a threat on the set pieces, corners. I think that's important. He just doesn't have the legs, so it's kind of like if we had some midfield help, maybe keep him as kind of a mentor to some of the younger guys. But like I said, nobody's going to take him on the wages that he's on, so we're going to keep him. So I'm going to say keep. So. Yeah,
I mean, I go into this thinking like no one's probably going to buy him. He's got 1 year left in his contract. He has been immense for us the second half of the season, Casemiro. I think Amorim needs a little bit more credit too for how he's kind of managed him a little bit, not only his minutes but just his role in the squad. Mm-hmm. I think he's done well to make sure he's not left too isolated. He's done well going into that international break in March too, to kind of change the tactic a little bit, maybe have him sit a little deeper, and what I'm saying. Amorim has found a way to get the best out of him. Is really what I'm saying, and I think that that's key to the management with these older players as well. Whether that's starting him against certain opposition, starting him in when we're playing a certain way, like I said, or just utilizing him. I think that if there was a way you can keep him and just have him pinch it on like free kicks in the box, that would be awesome because the guy just always seems to pop up with something. But the vast majority of people in the chat want to sell Casemiro, man.
I get it.
I hear both sides.
Yep.
So unfortunately, this is your channel. I mean, poor Casemiro. Sorry, brother, but you were being sold. Yeah, all that being said, but the good stuff about him, like if somebody made an offer, I take it. Like,
100%.
You would just have to replace him immediately as well. So yeah, kind of like what Rob says. If big wages sell, if an offer comes in. He was linked to Besiktas the other day. I'm surprised no Saudi clubs are in for him, but what are you going to do? I mean, that's a lot of money, but you guys want to sell him.
When he's young, that might change. So.
Yeah, it is true. All right, we're sticking with midfield. We'll move on to my next player, you guys. Keep it civil in the chat, please. I know everyone's entitled to their opinion, but there's no need to be disrespectful. So, mods, take care of it for me if people get out of hand, please. AJ says, as many interviews as they make Amorim do, the media still don't give him enough credit for what he's done in the time he's been here. Well, I'm not going to give him a ton of credit. There's a difference between giving him credit and saying he's been like he needs to go, because I think he's made mistakes. I think that he probably could have done a little better, but there is all the context of what he walked into, what the situation was, the players that we've all been slagging off for years. Somehow he's just supposed to get this much more out of them. I get it. I do think he played a role in losing that final by the team selection as well and the late subs. We've talked about that many times, but we know the media are it's a bunch of abus. We've ruined a lot of childhoods. It's low-hanging fruit to pick apart United right now. Although right now you notice the media has gone a little quiet with the Embuemo stuff. They tried to get us with the Cunha stuff by talking about how much he walks. Like, come on, who talks about that? The guy's not even like, before he was even announced, they were already like, well, he walks the most in the Premier League. Like, get fucked. I'm done with the media in that country, man. I've said it many, many times. There's a lot of money being wasted in journalism degrees in England. Manuel Ugarte, what's everyone saying here?
I think a lot of people are saying keep.
Yeah. Big up, Usman. What are you saying?
I'm saying keep.
Okay.
He's young still. Was he 24? 25?
Ugarte's 20.
Premier League.
He's 20. We got him when he's 23. I think he's 24 now, maybe.
He's still young. It's a different league than coming from Paris, coming from the French league.
Yeah.
And it's a little more physical. He's got a little bit of the South American arrogance. I like that. Go around, get the tackles. He's got to learn a little bit better on positioning on where he needs to be. But he's had some gems of games.
Yeah.
He's looked good, and if he can make that consistency, I see several of them of comments here. Like, he could be a great rotational squad player. Come in, play minutes, come off the bench, start the games here or there. I'd keep him. And we just bought him. Like, we paid $45 million last year, I think it was. So,
we probably over a little bit. I need someone to explain to me the hate that Ugarte gets, because the hate that this guy gets is so disproportionate to what he deserves, in my opinion. Is he the best player we have? No. Is he the best midfielder we have on the ball? No, he's not. But he's not as bad as people say. He's still, I mean, he's literally, like, when it comes to take-ons, he's still in like the top 25%. And so he's actually very good on the ball. His work off the ball is why Ten Hag bought him. And people have to keep in mind, we didn't buy him for Ruben Amorim. We bought him under Ten Hag. Yeah. His work off the ball is why. He's still in the top 2% for tackles. He's still in the top 9% for interceptions and the top 8% for blocks. So he, in a deeper role, unfortunately, it's just in this system, it's not enough to just be this defensive force in midfield. You have to do a little bit more on the ball. But like I said, his take-ons are still very good. His passing range to start the season was very good still, too. There was a time where he was one of our best players in terms of passes into the final third and whatnot. So he's not bad, but it's just not naturally the way he plays. He is a bit more of a N'Golo Kante. I'm going to win the ball. I'm going to find my teammate. And now he's being asked to do a little more. And he's going to have to sink or swim. I'd definitely give him another season at least.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, we just started him, so it's not like we're going in. But again, it's about what you guys would do. Tristan Sword says he's not great on the half torn, but he loves a tackle. He does love him a tackle.
He does.
Rob says only one season and he's got spite, which I think we need in the team. Yeah, I think the mentality too. I mean, he's just not going to let people get away with anything. So you guys are saying keep. I'm going to say keep. And Dylan, what are you saying? Keep.
I'm saying keep.
All right, we are cruising. The midfield really start where it's going to start to get meaty here because we got a few midfielders. So I'm going to end the poll. Big up everybody for getting involved in that. Next player.
AJ, I was loving your comment there about the Cavs and Ugarte hate.
All right, next up is a player who, contrary to belief, he's not actually been in the first team picture all that long because he was injured to start last season, and then he's got a couple injuries. So really, he's only been playing first team football consistently for like a year and a half. He's still very, very young. Kobbie Mainoo. Last year, what an absolute gem. I can't get over how good he was last year. I just can't. Like the FA Cup final and stuff. Like we love you, Kobbie.
Oh, yeah.
Questions about physicality in this system. Questions about physicality just in the league in general. People question his pace. Just can't deny his ability on the ball. The question too in this system: where does he play? Again, mixed opinions from the fan base. He does look bigger. He does look like he's worked on his physicality since coming back from injury. Reportedly, he's been working on that side of his game in the last couple months. If he can find the next level in terms of the physical side, the pace, the strength, the stamina and whatnot, we could definitely have a world beater on our hands. But I think he, if he does that, I think he does have a role in both the pivot and in the 10, depending on the opposition and depending on rotation as well. But what are your thoughts on Kobbie Dylan?
Yeah, I think same thing. I think he's got some opportunities in both those areas, and I like the fact that his dribbling ability is a little bit different than everybody. I mean, he can carry that ball into some of those tight spaces to bring it to into the final third, or bring it up through when they're trying to pressure. As long as he keeps working on that.
Yeah.
That's something he's probably one of the best dribblers on the team just in terms of how he keeps the ball, and that's a skill that we need.
I'm looking at it right now on FB Ref. He's literally top 4% for successful take-ons per 90. Like literally does that. He's got top 10 for touches in the opposition box, top 20 for, and he's actually his defensive. He's in the top 28%, so he's in the 72nd percentile for tackles per 90 as well. And surprisingly enough, 60th percentile for aerial duels. So literally top 40% for aerial duels. Anything above 50% is above average. And if you could do that, I think that you've got something. What is the chat saying? Mainoo squad role. Yeah, he's still young. I think he needs to learn that he's probably going to be playing a rotation option now. Probably going to start some matches. Not guaranteed. He's not a cert for the starting 11. But again, like any player, that's up to him. You know, if he plays his way, if he trains his way and proves something, then he could be. Casper's going to keep him. Rob says, nice to hear that Mainoo is doing extra training development over the summer. He's a gem. I think we could have an absolute beater, man. If he can work on that.
Oh, yeah.
And part of the bulking up is also going to be about adjusting to that. You know, you got to, like when players hit a growth spurt and stuff, it does take a little bit of an adjustment period.
Well, and we're going to talk about this, but the preseason is going to be huge. Like the fact that we're going to have a lot of these guys coming back. We're going to have a full preseason to train under the system. Guys are going to get to know the rhythm, everything like that. That's going to be big. I think Mainoo is going to really benefit that from the training he's doing and plus the preseason.
I think a lot of the players are going to benefit from the preseason because Amorim's not had one. So, Danny likes him as this deep line kind of starting that first phase of attack kind of player, dropping between the center backs. I think he has the ability with those take-ons, his press resistance. I think that he's one of the best press resistant players we have in the squad. You guys know I've said it many, many times. I love midfielders who can progress the ball without just having to pass it all the time. If you can keep that ball at your feet and carry it 10, 15, 20 yards up the pitch. That to me is worth its weight in gold.
100%.
Personally. And Cobby is one of the few players in the squad who can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me is just worth it. And you've got a midfield that asks so much of its players in this amorim system. I think that, again, that's why I think if he marries what he already can do with the physical demands and just ups that level, I think the world is his, personally.
Mm-hmm.
AJ says, if Mbuemo comes Menu off the bench, I just hope he stays. Yeah, and that's why I like to, is he can come on and do a couple different positions as well, linking up in the final third in that 10 role. Didn't he play like did we throw him on at like the false 9 or something at one point this season?
Yep.
Tristan says, I think he needs to work on explosive strength like sprints and agility. He's only young, so he's got bags of potential. I see him as a CM. Yeah, absolutely. Get your thoughts on the next player, you guys. We're talking about Kobe Collier, who some people might have forgotten about because he's had his injury ups and downs. But Collier is next on the list. Older than people think. Not really a full-on academy player, similar to Garnacho. We got him from when he was already like 18, 19, 20. So he's like 21, 22 now. I like Collier's energy. I think he's got very good positioning, a very good reading of the game, Collier, but he's missed like 15 games this season through injury. For a young player, it is. I think he could be a very good squad player for us. And I do think we need players with his mentality and his fight, but we also need players who can be fit as well. It could just be a one-off season regarding Collier's injuries, but I personally can see him leaving. I think that's somebody that I would offer to like Ipswich in exchange for like the Leif Davis, maybe Middlesbrough in exchange for like a Hackney. Let Carrick take him at Middlesbrough and turn him and try to take him to the next level. What are your thoughts on Collier there?
I have for me. I don't know how much playing time he's going to get. That's the big thing, and the injuries were the big thing. So I'm put him on. I'm going to keep him, but I want him to go on loan because when we've seen him when he's played, he's looked good. He looks assured. He can pick a pass here and there. He was definitely providing some solidity and some legs in that midfield, but it's just staying healthy. And so I think if we get with just the way some of the things are going to go, I don't know how much he's going to play. So I think a loan would be good. And then, like you're saying, if he goes to Middlesbrough or somewhere, he turns and puts in a good shift. We'll be next year. Maybe comes in and does really well. So.
Yeah, I forgot I have a need a loan option down there. I forgot that I put that in there. I didn't mean to. I'm going to delete that real quick. Sorry, guys. Makes it too complicated, personally. H, new face to the channel, says, going to need two keepers in the summer then, or just keep buying there and work on number one. Yeah. As you can see, both keepers are pretty much they're on the chopping block. But Onana would, if I had my way, Onana would be the first one out the door, personally. But Collier, 75% of you say to keep Collier, and so we will put Collier in there. Now, a lot of these young players, we're saying keep them and then maybe give them a loan. But Collier, to me, is like, he's old enough to where I'm like, we should have an idea of what he's about. Like, when you're in your early 20s, no, you're not like a world beater, you're not world class, but we should have an idea of whether or not you're going to make it or not, personally. When you're at that age. We're starting to see Hojlund kind of regress in that regard. Garnacho's kind of at that point where it's kind of stick or twist a little bit. So, and like I said, Collier, I think he came from Brighton. He wasn't like he was like a youngster, but most of you guys want to say keep him. So I'm letting y'all choose it. Do what you got to do, man. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Big up H though. Welcome to the channel. Capture says keep Collier for depth in the squad. So keep big up. Lucky Singh, welcome back, Manchester United. Lucky talks in. Big up, Lucky. Good to see you again. So moving on this could go either way. The problem with this guy is that Amorim really seems to like him a lot, and I do not. But he may have put some pennies in the bank with some United fans with a couple of wonder goals against in the Europa League this year. Mm-hmm. Mason Mount. What's everybody got to say about Mason Mount? Tristan likes Collier. Go for it, Dylan. What do you got for me?
I like Mount. I'm keeping him. I didn't actually think he fit Ten Hag's system when they signed him. I was like, that'd be cool. I hope he could play give Bruno a break. But I think he'll fit better here. I've liked what I've seen now that he stays somewhat healthy. I mean, knock on wood, he probably will get injured in the preseason. But yeah, I like the energy he brings, like the pace. He links up in the middle really good. I think he could provide, if we get Mbeumo, got Cunha there, that can provide a nice change the dynamic on the 10s to provide a different look. And, like you said, Amorim loves him. I think he'll definitely get time. And again, that can be a good squad role change up as long as we use our 5 subs in a timely manner, change the look during the match. So I'm totally keeping.
Yeah.
But again, injuries could derail this entire plan. So.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. A fit and firing Mason Mount can be great for us, but so could a fit and firing Shaw. I just don't know what a fit and firing Mason Mount looks like because we've never really seen it for more than a couple matches at a time, unfortunately. I mean, he's either injured or it's just like one really good match. And then, like, it was like this year, we saw one really good match, like Leon. He comes on, he and I think it was Ahmad came on and changed that game. And then we see something like the Chelsea match where he just looks like he's a second or 3 behind everything. But again, Amorim likes him, so I think that will probably persist with him. I think I would argue that this was definitely a board kind of signing, in my opinion, personally. And so I wonder how much of that is coming down from the board. We saw that with Martial, for instance. If it were me, though, I would definitely sell him. I would go get someone like Meyer Carrizo or even Lee Kanjin from PSG, who might be looking for a way out. I think he comes in and he's a better player than Mount. I think he's a fitter player than Mount. I think that he's going to cost less than we paid for Mount personally. So there are options out there. But again, is it a priority? Probably not. If you're up to me, I would sell him. But I'm just, you guys know I'm very anti-injury prone player. So, but majority of you are saying keep him. So we're going to close that poll. We're going to lock it in. Y'all say keep Mount. Don't come crying to me when he's injured the rest of the season, you guys. I'm going to sit here with my I told you so face on. Just letting you know.
You should get a shirt that has that and then just wear it when
yeah, there are plenty of shirts, you guys. Don't forget to go check out the UVE store if you want to see all sweet, one-of-a-kind designs. Dylan's got one, class of 92. Let me get this off here so we can see it, Dylan. There you go. Let them people see.
Cliff, man.
The class of 92, the Cliff, big up. Like he says,
a lot of people asking about this. So
are they really?
Yeah,
that's awesome. Let them know where to get it, man. Mm-hmm. Lucky says, Mountain, we're going to look after him. He needed to play part any pitch. Yeah, he can play. He's versatile. Yep. Danny says, hit that like button. Yes, please do hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, too, if you haven't. It's down here. Dylan, do one of these for me. It's down here in the bottom corner. There you go.
There we go.
You see the little red subscribe button. Lucky says, we need bench power. We do need bench power, but we also need availability. And that is my biggest criticism. Again, not his fault, but it doesn't take a literal physician to just spend 2 seconds on Google, look at Mason Mount's injuries and say, yeah, this dude's not really ever going to shake
That's the worrying part.
The hamstrings, the ankles, they are very interconnected. They do not simply just go away. They become weaker and weaker the more they get injured. And, we saw reports a couple months back that we were trying to get somebody to come up with an algorithm to predict that. That's what the internet's for. It is free. Don't spend freaking money like that body language expert that we got rid of. Like, there's no need. Just go on the internet. It's not that difficult. What are we paying our physios for if we can't predict that shit? Casper likes Mount. Keep him for sure. Squad depth. Speaking facts says Collier is another average kid that will not be starting for any EPL team. I could see Collier going to like Everton or something, kind of like what James Garner did. I could easily see him going someplace like Brentford, Fulham. No offense to these clubs. He could go to Burnley and start at Burnley for sure. But I just think it's more about just comparatively speaking to who else is in the squad. He's not going to get starts, and he's at an age where he really is going to need to start if he wants to get any sort of career up and running. But H says, what do you guys think about Bruno? Is it most likely be further back where he would play him? We're getting to Bruno. We're cruising. You can't open the book of the stream and jump straight to the middle, man. We got to go sequential with this stuff. But we're getting there. Leinart says, wait, there's something wrong with my television. It's saying Shaw is on the sell segment. Don't worry. I'll just restart. Yes. Leinhardt is a big Shaw FC guy. Tristan says less demand next season, so he should stay fit. Yeah, maybe with a bit rotation, it could work, but that's an expensive squad player.
Oh
Just
yeah.
saying, and he's an older squad player. He's 26 now. So Rob says I'd sell Mount, but PSR would batter us. Yeah, well, everybody's battered us this year, so we're just we're the whipping boys. Tristan says if he gets injured, I wouldn't be shocked. I would be more shocked if we went a month without picking up an injury Mount, but it is what it is. Yep. Box says, Sean, we have a request of a revote regarding Shaw. So what? I don't think one vote's going to help, though. Lionhearts, unfortunately. It was pretty much a landslide. Yeah, you might need to get a new television. It might be. Go wipe it off. There might be a smudge up there or something. Get a little... Danny says, special guest Christian Eriksen brother is at least worth a like. Yes, please do like the video. I'm not saying it's Christian Eriksen. I'm saying, have you seen Dylan and Christian Eriksen in the same room at the same time before? I'm just saying. But we're obviously moving on to a bit of a controversial one. Garnacho. What do you guys think of Garnacho? Box is going to keep him. What do you got for me, Dylan?
I think there's a mentality fire that Garnacho can have on the pitch. He's made some good shots at times for us. He's got that Puskas from last year. But it seems like to me there was a regression this year. He wasn't looking as much. It was like he was in his own, almost like he was doing the Rashford thing. He was put his head down, trying to drive, get the ball taken away from him. Then he wouldn't run back on defense or to track back. So the shooting, it was like he almost forgot how to shoot because it was like he would sky everything. And I don't know if it was just like he was in his own head and he was trying to power it through and it just whatever. Yeah. But then, and we've talked about this, the social media thing is really frustrating.
Yeah. That's my biggest criticism of him because he's had these disciplinary issues since literally the summer Ten Hag got here. He's been having issues with disciplinary stuff, decision making, and when I say decision making, yes, it's on the pitch, but it's also off the pitch as well. Like your decision making is shit, my guy.
Yeah, and he is young, but at the same time, I mean, he's been part of this first team squad for a couple of years now. You know what to expect. And it's like when I'm in the classroom with kids, you can only, give them enough breaks for so long before you have to kind of put the hammer down.
Yeah.
And if we do sell them, there's already takers lined up. So I'm on the sell train, and I think that will help us. So
I mean, it's almost sort of moot because it does seem like he's just not in the plan. But I mean, my thing is he's been a first team regular for 3 years now, Garnacho, and he's not only has he had these decision-making issues off the pitch, but again, a lot of the stuff on the pitch, or like Rashford, he's just not getting any better at. Like you said, his decision-making. I can't remember what match it was, but it was a match where he had the ball in the final third. He's carrying it around the edge of the box. He loses it because he's holding onto it too long, and he just sits there on the pitch. He's just sitting on the ground while the opposition player takes it and launches a counterattack. And I'm like, you can't do that, man. That's inexcusable. I don't care if you're not going to catch him at all. You get up and you bust a gut to do it because you're the one who lost the ball because of, again, poor decision making. They used to train that out of Cristiano in training when he held onto the ball too long. They said just muller him in training until he learns to pass and move. That's been a criticism I've had Garnacho, of Rashford, at times Ahmad. Pass and move. And move. It's not that difficult, and it's really annoying. What are you guys saying here? Garnacho, I need players embrace win, plays a team, later Garnacho sell. What is everyone saying in the chat? 64% of you would sell Garnacho. Interesting. AJ says done for me. Casper says I'd sell him because of the attitude. I've had enough of him. Yeah, I'm just kind of tired of it, to be honest. It's getting to be a point where it's just you're seeing it more and more in the media now, and I'm like, we just don't want more circus now. Like it's taking up a lot of the attention in all the worst ways. H says his attitude stinks, but he's still quality and not worth selling. I wonder if he just part of it too. Look at it from his perspective. He'd probably want to be a winger and not one of these 10s, and maybe he just wants to go play to his best position and do that. I mean, he could go to Napoli. They were interested in January. He could flourish there. He can go back to Spain if we got him from Atletico's academy. Maybe go to join Ten Hag at Leverkusen because Ten Hag really is the guy that brought him through and really put all of his weight behind it. Maybe that could be a good fit. Germany doesn't want Sancho. That's funny. That's funny. Speaking facts, let me see if you are speaking facts. Now, Mount is just another example of Luke Shaw that will get away with murder at United because of the low standard United have as a club, lacking ruthlessness of not knowing when to get rid of a player. Well, for once, your name was correct. I would get rid of, yes, that was a fact. I would get rid of him. He has gotten away with it. I think the fans, the fans are always going to back their players, but at the same time, if you're injured, it's time to go for me. But Tristan says Garnacho played all season, every game. Must have been a very hard season for these young players. Definitely tried. He tried, and he probably should not have started as many games as he has. He's never really had a whole lot of competition because of Rashford's just shit show and stuff and things like that. We were moving them all around. Garnacho's had some great moments for us. FA Cup final made Guardiola look an absolute mug. But it's just the attitude. Like, I don't care. His numbers this year are good, but it's just your attitude is just poor, man. So 60%, as you say, sell. Dylan, sell. All right. How you doing over there, Dylan?
I'm doing well.
It's a long one tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm loving it, though.
We're getting there. I appreciate you, man. Liner says, "I only sell him who doesn't want to be at United." He doesn't want to be here. Yeah, he definitely can go. So,
yeah.
Tristan says, definition of playing way too much at such an early age and it getting to his head. Yeah, I think maybe there's a little bit of that. You could argue that maybe he thinks he's a little better than he actually is. I could definitely see an argument made for that. So, all right, we're going to go into the biggie here before we get to the last couple. So, again, kind of moot since he's said he's staying, but I want to know what you guys would do. So, hit me with it. Bruno, keep, sell. We've discussed Bruno a lot since all the Al Hilal stuff started popping up a couple weeks ago. Bruno's had mixed opinions since he got here, to be honest. I think part of it was Pogba fan club and the whole Pogba versus Bruno debate among the United fan base, which is just weird in my opinion. Some say he's our best player and we need him and we'll be worse without him. Others think that 100 million for a 31-year-old is not only too good to pass up, but it really could have kickstarted his rebuild, put it ahead by a full year if the money's invested wisely. Remember, you got to build, not buy. But again, Fabrizio Romano came out this morning. If you guys saw the short I put out, Bruno has already spoken about it while on Portugal duty. He's staying. But the question remains, would you keep Bruno or would you sell him? His numbers have been excellent since he got here. He's easily the best player in the squad. Captain, the one player who's probably going to make something happen if we need it to happen. Would you keep him? Would you sell him? Let me know. I feel like this is going to be interesting. So, Box says, it's been great seeing United fans crying about Bruno staying. Danny said he should have been sold last week. Yeah, I think if we were going to sell him, we should have just done it. It just is what it is. Slices of SIB. What's up, Slices? Big up, man. Good to see you. Tristan says this is such a hard one. And Casper would keep him. Dylan, what do you got for me, man?
The hard part for me, and I think I'm just like scarred from all of the poor transfer business we've had in the past, that I totally understand wanting to sell and get the money because that makes sense. Like, get the money, do the rebuild, get the positions we need. But at the same time, I'm like, we know what we have with Bruno. We know the game-changing quality that he has, what he means to the club. Just like the fans, what they put his heart and soul out in the club. Yeah, I don't like the whinging. That bothers me. I get it sometimes, but I think he does it a little too much at times. But I'm on the keep train. I'm happy. I'm really happy he's staying. Just because he's a known quantity at this point, and for us, it's been, again, I think I might be just scarred from all the poor Ed Woodward transfer business we've had in the past. Like, we know we're getting with Bruno. He's gonna put forth a good forward. So I'm keep. But I get the sell part. I do. I 100% get the sell part.
If we sell him, it would literally just be because it's 100 million for a 31-year-old. That's literally the only thing that would make me want to sell Bruno. That's almost too good of an opportunity to pass up. On the other hand, Bruno with Cunha, Mbeumo, and possibly someone like Gyökeres or even anybody else is a wholly different Bruno to a Bruno with a Garnacho and a Rashford and a Hojlund working with. I've said many times it's a crime that he doesn't have more assists because of just the attackers that we've had. Like, he's constantly creating among the most chances in the Premier League since he arrived. He's like, his numbers are stellar for the amount of games he's had for us. Like, you can't argue the guy is literally our best player. The poll is literally 50-50. Slices says, I'd sell him if he gets over 100 million. Rob said, sell Bruno for that money. His statement sounds like he's open for offers for Europe. Poor captain, doesn't fit in the team. Ooh, shots fired there. Poor captain. I got to know why. I've heard that many times. People say he's a bad captain. I think part of that is, people have their own idea of what a captain should be and should act like. I mean, if Roy Keane's been very vocal about it, but I think Roy Keane's maybe took a little too many headers if he's forgetting so conveniently how much he wins. The guy got so angry that he literally ended Hojlund's career because of a grudge. Like, let's be honest. Is like, come on. Let's you go watch some old Roy Keane matches and you'll see. Rob says, sell, yeah. Box thinks Bruno staying is great news. But it's swinging. The poll is swinging. Get involved. You got a couple more seconds. I'm going to read through these chats, but get involved in that poll. Slices says there's still time to the end of the transfer. Amorim reportedly wants him to stay. Amorim has said, like, you're a part of this. I need you here. Amorim turned down $100 million to grab a couple more players. Remember, keep that in mind as well. Slinehart says keep, and then after that, I think I might keep him again. I'll just keep him in my pocket next to Shaw. Rob says Scholes comments on Bruno in the sale were. I haven't had time to watch that today. Dylan, do you know what Scholes said about that?
No, I haven't seen that. I saw like a brief clip about the sale. If it's the same one I'm thinking of, I think he was like, you kind of have to take the money just because of how much it is.
To me that's an absolute no-brainer. Like, even Fergie said, if someone offers you way more than like value, market value for a player, you need to take it. Because again, it's just, for me, it was always a matter of like, how are we going to spend it? Because you can't just go out and try to find a like for like and spend big money. It's just not going to happen. We can't afford to be. We were too reliant on one player in Bruno. We can't turn around and make that same mistake. And that doesn't mean that it wasn't like that was our goal. It's just that's just the way it was because of the lack of quality in the squad. We were just forced into it. Non, welcome to the channel. Dallas should be sold. We can get some money for him, and he's not worth much for us in the Amorim system. That's what I said, man. Welcome. You get a big thumbs up for agreeing with me because that's how I am. You guys say, Rob says he loses the ball a lot. Tries how he does. He does. You know who used to lose the ball most of anybody in Europe? Messi. Players who have that in their locker, players who are creative, players who take risks, players who can do those things are the players who are going to lose the ball. That's just the way it is. I don't mind Bruno losing the ball because when you look at his numbers, it definitely outweighs any of that other stuff. Now, I think with better players around him, you're going to see a lot of those balls not get lost, but it is what it is. He does kind of revert to type a lot in some situations and just takes these wild shots. He's going to do that, and that's somebody was on here yesterday kind of using that stat to pick him apart, and I get it, but like part of it is as a midfielder, where are your shots going to come from? Like, your shots are typically going to come from outside the box because that's the position you play. But look at his assists, look at his goals, look at his chance creation, look at everything he's done, and I think that it is what it is. So, Box says Roy Keane and Scholes chat a lot. I do think some of the Scholes he takes are a little out there. Keane just seems to just hate United no matter what. So it is what it is. Ronan, another new name in the chat. Maguire has to leave. 33-year-old next summer, and he's going to get slower. Currently, he's on a good form. Hopefully, we can offload him. Maguire is like your fourth choice is not a problem, in my opinion. We got bigger problems than that. But big up, Ronan. Welcome to the channel. Sweet name, too. You're like second today for sweet name. Tristan Swords got you beat. Tristan says, I would sell. It's so stressful seeing him throw his arms in the air and moaning. I've played with a player who was the best player on the team, but did what Bruno does, and it made everyone play. Yeah. Like we're on eggshells, he says. Interesting. So, I'm just trying to scroll down. Get a lot to catch up on here. Lots and lots. So, all right, let me check the chat real quick. Dylan, you good on time, bud?
I'm good.
All right, we got a couple more. I didn't do notes on some of these other ones, so before we get to the three that are still in the squad, I'm gonna go through Antony, Rashford, and Sancho for you guys. So. But 59% of you say keep Bruno, so we are throwing Bruno in the keep column. Thank you guys for getting your votes in. So we'll start with Antony. What are you guys saying about Antony? Because he's had a bit of a good season at Real Betis, or half season. I've seen some links with Juve today as well. Apparently, Juventus have initiated talks for him, which could be a decent move.
Mm-hmm.
I gave Antony time. I probably gave him more time than he really deserved. I definitely gave him more time than a lot of the fan base did because I watched a lot of Ajax and I know what he was at Ajax. Just can't hang in the physicality of the league. That's about all I have to say on that. I gave up on him after 2 seasons. So, what are y'all saying?
I'm selling him.
You're selling him.
Yeah, yeah. You know, he had the passion, he had the fight. He gave it his all, but he never really developed that right foot. He tried to be too flashy.
Yeah.
And in the Premier League, when you're more physical, he needed the space to work, and you can see it in this with Batiste. He did great. And there's nothing wrong with that. He's just the Premier League isn't for him, and
Yep.
he's showing he's quality in Spain. I think Italy, if he can go to Juventus, he'll be a great player there. I wish him well. But let's get that bag. Come on, let's get some money for him. It's not going to be great, but it'll be some.
Yeah. Yeah. Juve could be good for him.
Yeah.
La Liga could be good for him. Again, Real Betis are playing poverty like they can't afford it, but it is. They knew what they were getting into. So,
Oh, yeah.
Tristan says, "Love the guy. Seen a few videos, and he's hilarious, but not a player for United." Lionhearts, you said keep you. Maybe you thought it said Shaw. Maybe your TV's on the fritz again. But somebody said keep. That was you, Lionhearts. So we're gonna end that poll real quick. So I'm gonna put Antony in the sell column. I'm gonna throw my next one out there for you guys to take a look at here. All right, have a go, guys. Let me put Antony in his rightful spot where we should have put him a year ago. Jadon Sancho. Is it bridges burned? Is it This was all under Ten Hag, not Amorim? Maybe there's a spot for him in this system. Has damage been done? What do you say, Dylan?
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's just. It's more of a toxicity thing at this point, I think, and I think that's hurt him too. I mean, I thought he'd do better at Chelsea, and he did okay, and then he just fell off a cliff. I think he's now kind of inflated his own abilities. There's a player there. He's a good player.
Yeah.
But you know, this league is physical. He did well in the German league, again, a little bit less physical. And we have two Premier League sides he has not done well in. And you can't just say it's just United. You know, there's something wrong with him now, just in terms of his ability to play in this league.
He bugs me that he's a player who seems to be, when things are going well, when United are struggling, he's happy to jump on social media and pop off all this good shit. But the moment it's struggling, it's radio silence. And it's the same from Chelsea fans too, by the way, because they were talking all that good shit when they got him, and then he just did not do anything. And then they're like, oops. And then he shows up in the final for a hot second. They're like, yeah, let's do it. But it does sound like Chelsea are not exercising that option. The wages, they couldn't. The sticking point was the wages again. This could be the first 100% clean sweep, though, that I've seen tonight on this show. Lucky says get out. Rob says sell Sancho. Again, like Antony, he just can't hang in the league. And it's a bummer because I think that if he just upped his intensity a little bit, I think he could have a role in Amorim's system in one of those 10s. I think he could do very, very well there. But the damage was done for me. I can't abide that kind of stuff. I've done videos on it when the channel was in its infancy. Is Ten Hag a bully? I've gone through the timeline of all the crap that Ten Hag's had to deal with when he was here. Sancho and Ronaldo, Antony, all that stuff. It's all on there. So it is what it is. But yeah, even Tristan makes a good point. Like, the guy can't come anywhere near preseason. It will infect the changing room with negativity. Yeah, I don't think he's even got a locker. I don't think we included him in a locker when we redid Carrington. Just like, what about Sancho? What about Sancho? That's the answer. Bye. So Slices says Sancho needs to leave or get sold. So literally, this is the first clean sweep. You guys, 100% of you say sell. Well, look at that star round we've got going on here for all you golfers out there. Right, Dylan?
Oh, yeah.
Star round. All right. And then Rashford. What are you guys saying about Rashford? Let me put him up on the poll. Dylan, keep, sell. Is it really a point? Because he's pretty much gone, right? He's already said
he doesn't want to be here, which is, when this first started to come up, I was sad about it. I'm like, he said he's a good player. I'd really like to have him stay. But the drama, the longer it's gone on, the more it's just worn everybody down. And I'm like, just go, dude. We don't. Yeah. And he did okay at Villa, but I didn't see him lighting any carrying them to the Champions League final. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I get the feeling he's got a little bit of an inflated ego since he had that 30-goal season.
Well, he got that 30-goal season, and he got the contract, and then it was all just easy riding for them. He was just coasting.
Yeah, and it's like I don't think he feels like he has to prove as much at United right now. I think if he went to somewhere else, like at Barcelona, all the rumors I keep hearing that he's going to Barcelona. I mean, you got to prove yourself there.
There it is. Box says this. Keep him. Scored a pen versus Preston. Keep him. Rashford, to me, I had such high hopes, and I understand exactly what people come from, like Bex and Rooney, when they lament the fact that we're selling academy players, but we're not selling Rashford because we don't want him. He's going because he basically said he wants to go.
Yep.
It seems to me after that contract, it seems like that was the goal, and trophies weren't.
Yep.
And this didn't used to be how it was at United. It used to be you sign for United, you get the contract, and that's when the hard work began. That's when you had to push yourself to get to another level. And it just, for too long, we've let that slip at United, where we sign the club, we pay these players a lot of money, and that was the goal. Now they're set. That was it. That was what they were working for. They got it. Now they're done. And just we've let that slide for too long. And I thought it was a huge message when Amorim dropped both Rashford and Garnacho for the derby, when Amorim basically just didn't bring Rashford back into the squad whatsoever. We sent him out on loan. That was up there as one of like the WTF moments of the season in the award show, was like the whole Rashford situation. Obviously, we didn't do the award show because who cares? What are you guys saying in the chat? Are we about to have our second clean sweep in a row? Yikes. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Second star round, 100% of you say sell Rashford. All right. Well, there he goes. All right. Cheeto. I mean, do we really need to talk about Cheeto?
No. We got to keep him. I think he needs a loan, but we got to keep him. We
sell Cheeto, or we loan Cheeto, and we sell Hojlund. Like, we are very, very, very thin. Like, super, super thin.
Yeah. Well, and if we can, you know, and Buemo's going to bring some experience, Kuna's going to bring some experience. Cheeto can learn from all that. So if Hojlund stays or something, that stuff doesn't go through. Have a good night, Tristan.
Thank you for stopping by, man. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out, my guy. Cheeto, I mean, there's not really a point to talking about him, right? I mean, he's not like he's going anywhere. He was fast-tracked into that first team. We signed him in the summer. I mean, Amorim's played him here and there. Got his goals the other day in that friendly against Hong Kong. Really well taken. I mean, I'm not going to deny the quality of the strike and stuff. I'm not going to overly gas him up and say, yep, let's play him over Hojlund. Like, it is what it is. But what are you guys saying here, Cheeto? Keep and have him around the squad to learn. Yeah, I think you give him this next season, maybe keep him around, and if it still looks like maybe he's not quite there yet, maybe we revisit it. Maybe we put him on loan. Harry Kane benefited from a loan at Leicester. People forget that a lot before he made his name at Spurs. So Casper says, Cheeto, I'd keep him. Lionheart says, yeah, it's all keeping, but, you know, what are we going to do? So, wow, this is our third star round in a row. Big up, you guys. All right. It wasn't a long conversation for Cheeto, but he's in and out of the first team, so we got to do it. What do you guys want to do first? Hojlund or Xerxes? Oops, wrong one. There we go.
I was going to say, we're selling him? Holy crap.
Finger slipped off the mouse for a second there. Let's start with Hojlund, because let's just get that one out of the way, because I feel like that's going to be another short conversation for a lot of people. Even for me, surprisingly, if you guys have been watching the channel long, you guys know, Dylan can attest, I have defended Hojlund to the hilt for a very long time. What are we doing for Hojlund here, everybody? What are your thoughts on Hojlund?
It's just depressing because, number one, I was really hoping he'd be like the middle finger to Man City to get our own like Haaland lookalike. That was going to be better if we trained him up. And the first season, I was pretty happy. I'm like, he's a young player, he's going to get better. But new guy Lyle, welcome, man.
Welcome to the channel, Lyle. Big up, man. Love to see new faces. Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
But he just has regressed and he cannot get out of that funk. And I don't know. Now it just seems like he's making poor decisions. Like he does it doesn't even look like he is trying to get out of it. It's look like he's trying anything, and it's kind of detrimental to the flow of the offense. So I'm like, he's got to go. I have a Hojlund jersey. I like my Hojlund jersey, but
this is why I don't get names on my jerseys anymore, because like you never know, it could anything can change like that. So plus it's just I worry about chipping and scratching and stuff, but it is what it is. But I like Slices of SIB's optimism. Says we have Cunha and Buemo. If we get Mateta or Gyökeres, we top 5 next season. Gyökeres for sure. I go back and forth on Mateta. I'd rather get Gonçalo Ramos than Mateta, but that's just me. Definitely over Mitrovic, who I'm not doing that. Linehart's is still keeping. Linehart's, you're a big old softy. That's not a bad thing, but I love it, man. I love the optimism there. Money loan.
Thanks,
I know there was that talk of maybe a loan with an option with Inter and whatnot. Casper says I'd sell. He's useless. Don't score goals. He's not scoring goals right now, is he? Rob says loan with an obligation to help the PCR. Yeah, I wouldn't mind an obligation to buy. Maybe just you're not going to get what we paid for him. We definitely overpaid for him. We went into that. The plan was to get Hojlund. We weren't going to spend more than 60. We spent a little more. It is what it is. It's not as much as everybody likes to say it is, but it is what it is. Let's see what everyone's saying. Bach says, keep Hojlund so Dylan hasn't wasted his jersey. That's true. That's true. Thankfully, you guys don't have to spend a ton of money on jerseys. If you go click on the link in this video description, there was a code to go to GoGoalShop. Use that code when you register. You do get $5 off your jersey. Jerseys aren't expensive. They're legit. I've got a couple of them. I love them to death. I've got a little bit more. I'm waiting until next season, but they do have retro jerseys on there. I've got the jersey from like 86. I've got a 93, 94. This is my original. This is from when I was a kid, but I've got more. But go check them out. There's tracksuits, there's jerseys. I'm waiting till next year's pop up, and then we'll see what those ones look like. But Rob says, heard Hojlund has been drug tested after getting shot on target in the Danish squad. Nice. Ronan says, Hojlund has to stay since we can't sell him cheap due to PSR. If we get 25, 30 goals a season striker, he might be a good backup. Hopefully he can get his confidence back. Yeah, and that's the point. He was never really supposed to be the main guy. He should have been a backup. He was 20 years old when we got him, and that's really what I've said to defend him, but he's just, the writing's on the wall for me. This one's pretty split. This is a lot more split than I thought it was going to be, but 55% of you would sell Hojlund. Let me go through some more chats. You guys have a couple more seconds to get your votes in. Lion Chart says I've got pickpockets for all these players. So does Arteta. Rob says no Chelsea-style $5 million send-back clause, right? Franz, welcome to the channel, Fran. I'm getting so many new faces tonight. I love it. Big up, Chan. Make sure you're hitting that like button and subscribe on your way in. But it says just cut ties, cut losses. The PSR is a big hit. If you look at it purely from a performance standpoint, it's easy to say, yeah, we got to sell them. But if we sell them too early from a financial standpoint, that does hurt us in terms of bringing other players in. And so it is hard. I see both sides. As fans, it's hard for us to care too much about the finances, but at the same time, that's a big factor. So Lyle says, I wouldn't mind Hojlund staying if we can get an experienced striker for him to learn on. Yeah, go get Gyökeres. He's basically, Hojlund is much more of a Gyökeres than he is like how we've been playing him, like he's Giroud or something, where, yeah, he's a big guy, but he's not a hold-up striker. Hojlund needs to run. He needs space. Not like Rashford needs space. Hojlund needs to just get the ball on the run. He's very good when he's on the ball and he's running. Like if you watch him at Atalanta, that was his game. He's been asked to do a lot of very different things, and he's very young. And I don't think the coaching's been up to snuff. But he does need to do a lot better. So everyone's got a little bit of responsibility to share in this one. Bach says Hojlund has a better scoring ratio at MUFC than Welbeck. Interesting little piece of trivia there. But so 64% of you are saying sell. So we're going to cut the poll there. I'm going to throw him into the sell bin. Sorry, everybody. If this were 6 months ago, I would have been like fighting tooth and nail. We would do another hour of me defending him against everybody. But just like Antony, I have to keep the same energy and I have to be objective. And objectively, I think it's kind of like the potential for like Licha's injuries, like not necessarily all his fault, but eventually the damage might have been done. I think Hojlund, the mental damage might have already taken its toll. And I think that he's kind of already a little burnt out of the pressure and everything. So it is unfortunate. Again, he could turn it around, like I've said, maybe get his older striker, take some of that pressure off, learn a little bit. Hojlund's biggest flaw, and not really his fault, is just he has no one to learn from. And that's just is what it is. So big up, everybody. I just want to make sure I get everyone's doing. Fran says, man can't kill off Spurs in Europa. Keep for what? I blame Onana and a little bit of Amorim for that one, honestly. Slices says, how much can we get in total if we sell all these ineffective players? 200 mil tops. You never know, man. Anthony kind of helped us a little bit with his form at Betis. But Rich, big up Rich, has sell Licha. Harsh words from Rich. It's one of those things. I think a lot of us are giving him another season to see if he can stay fit. Because if he can stay fit, Leach is easily one of our best players in the squad. But just depends. I give him a little more leeway just because he's only been here a couple of years, and 2 of those injuries were definitely contact injuries, and the third one was just, it happens sometimes. ACLs do go, but it is what it is. Rob says, United board having the balls to say to Jim, we've sold Rasmus but lost 8 million PSR while still having to pay yearly for him. What are you guys saying about Xerxes? Dylan, thoughts on Xerxes?
Mr. 9.5.
Mr. 9.5. I almost wore that. I almost wore that shirt. Yes, I do have a 9.5, a 9.5 shirt in the UVE store for all you Xerxes fans out there.
I think we keep him. I liked what I've seen with how he's kind of had almost a little bit of a renaissance before the injury. He was linking up play really well. He and Bruno seem to have a really nice connection there with some of the passing. I think he can really be an asset to that link play around the final third. And he got better with some of his shot creation attempts, and I was seeing a trend in the right direction until he got injured. So I'm keeping Xerxes. I think he's got a future. Maybe not as the main striker, but as somebody, one of the 10s, or someone to come and play around, like if we do a false 9 or something. So
I think he could fill in at striker in a pinch. I had high hopes for Xerxes when he scored in the first goal of the season, the first game of the season. I thought we were all like, all right, here we go. We're back. It was a slow start, though. He started to find his role in this system a little bit as one of these 10s dropping deep. I mean, he's very, very good with the ball at his feet. I mean, the dude literally only likes to cook with nutmeg. That's his favorite spice. The guy is megging everybody left and right. And just when he gets that ball at his feet, it sticks to him like glue, like a prime Benzema, like a prime Ibrahimovic for such a big guy. I need to see more goals, though. That's my thing. Obviously, he's just joined, so I doubt that he's going to go. I definitely give him the redemption arc for Xerxes this season, too, has been an absolute, insane whirlwind. The hamstring issues, though, that started last year at Bologna, they aren't going away. He's picking up these hamstring injuries. And again, like I said, Mason Mount, hamstrings, they do tend to stick with you, and they do tend to just keep popping back up here and there. It's kind of like ants in your house. You think you get rid of them once, and then they show back up again next year. It's just so he had those issues at Bologna. He's having them again this season. I don't have a problem with Xerxes staying. What are you guys saying in the chat? 77 say keep. Give him another season, but I do need to see more goals because that's why we bought him. We didn't buy him to come in and play this weird kind of hybrid role. He needs goals, but we do need to do better at getting the ball up to that area of the pitch, personally. Rob says, I think Xerxes at 10 could link up the play with Cunha and Mbeumo behind him. Yeah, and he could be a 9, like, in a formation, but not a 9 generally, like, overall, like, average position on the pitch, if that makes sense. Like you're saying, maybe floating around, maybe winning some of those long balls, serving as a bit of a link up, a conduit, like, focal point, and then find those runners. I would love it if we play like a 3-5-2 or something, maybe in around, but we're not going to do that. But yeah, as a false 9, letting runners off him could be good, but the injuries do struggle. I just want to make sure we get here. Any players that don't step up need to go in January. Well, January is a hard market to sell and buy in, but I definitely hear you. I know. I think a lot of fans are kind of getting a little impatient. I think we're starting to get a little ruthless here. 77. Get your votes in. I'm going to get caught up on these chats real quick. Let me see. Rich says, Xerxes has some quality to work with. Let's see how he gets on. He does have some quality. I need to see some goals, though, man. The goals are our biggest issue last season. He's another player who had a lot of sitters and just wasn't able to do it, and I need to see more. He's a big dude, too. I need to see him win a little more headers, too. Box thinks Xerxes got a squad role as well. Big up. Lucky says, use him as left wing, put Cunha, Mason, and Mount. That's funny. Casper says he'd keep Joshua Xerxes, but I agree with you, Sean needs more goals. I just need to see more goals from him. That's all. I mean, what he does is excellent, but I need to see some more goals, because if he's going to start in a 9 and he's going to drop deep, that means there's also going to be a little bit of a hole up there, and there's not going to be necessarily a focal point in the box as well. So when you're in the box, I need to see something happen. Lionheart says nobody is selling Xerxes. Some people might. I mean, 21% of people would sell him. So, I mean, he's no Luke Shaw, but some people might sell him. Lionheart. That's funny. Rob says he could be that 9.5, just like the shirt says. Yes, go check out the 9.5 shirt, you guys. In the UVE store, it does say crank it up to 9.5. A little bit of a play on his position, his self-proclaimed position, but it is a pretty sick shirt. I almost wore that one tonight, but I opted for this one instead. Ronan, if we were getting practical here, I don't see how we can sell Shaw, high wage, injury prone, Casemiro. Yeah, we're probably not selling either, honestly, but it's all about what you guys would do, not what you think is going to happen. So he wants Wharton. I would take Wharton in a heartbeat for sure. Box says, what is a 9.5? What a good chat comment. So Dylan, what is a 9.5? What do you think that is?
Oh, man, Xerxes' position of just being that striker but not a striker, the link-up play, man, the self-proclaimed 9.5. Man.
The position that's not a position. It's
exactly.
what it is a kick-ass shirt in the UVE store in box. Slices says our defense is impenetrable next season with you. As long as we don't have to deal with balls in the box, our defense is impenetrable. But the moment a ball gets put in the box, we just shit the bed, man. It's insane. It's Xerxes box paying attention. Well, so let me see what you guys are saying so I can move him to where he needs to go. So 80% of you are saying keep Xerxes. All right, I will put Xerxes in the keep column. Why not? So look at that. We started with more players in the sell column than the keep column, and then we finished with a decent little squad. Let's see who we got rid of. Onana gone. Onana would literally be my first name on the chopping block personally. I'm done with him. And then we've got the guys like Malacia, Shaw. A lot of people, you guys that wanted to sell Casemiro. I think most of you said he's probably going to stay, but if somebody offers, let's sell Casemiro. Garnacho, everybody got a little tired of his attitude and some of his decision-making on the pitch, just not proved. Plus, it's kind of a moot point since he's pretty much looks like he's done anyway. Antony, you guys opted to go. It doesn't really suit the league. Sancho, I think it's bridges burnt with Sancho, right? Rashford, same thing. Henry Winter, by the way, the dude is he's popping up all over Twitter all the time, and I'm like, just shut up, man. You're annoying. And then Hojlund. Hojlund was a little closer than I thought it would be, but you guys ended up opting to sell him. I think the recency bias kicking in there, but I think I just kind of gave up on that. So What are you going to do? Rob says, like the French player we had, forgot his name, starts with an M. Who's the French player we had?
Think about that. I don't know who he's talking about.
We had some French players start with M. Last French player I can remember that we had was Martial.
That's probably what he's talking about.
Yeah, right. So, well, that was our keep sell video, you guys. You guys did a pretty good job. Any surprises from you, Dylan, in the keep sells?
Not really, no.
Oops. Yeah, pretty much what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, a lot of it, like with the discussions, was just like logical talking with how we all kind of breaking down our arguments. It makes sense.
Yeah. No, I dig it, man. Interesting. Well, like I said, we will be doing a player rating video sometime soon. Keep an eye out for that one. We will be doing a expectations, starting 11, and kind of rating the transfer window video once the transfer window is done and dusted. Guys, make sure you hit that like button for me. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you are new. We are on the road to 3K. Check out the membership so you guys can get more involved in the content. Check out the UVE store. There's tons and tons and tons of designs on there. I'm popping up with new ones all the time. Dylan, any final thoughts for everybody before I let you guys go? I kept you guys here a long time tonight.
Nothing really. Just want to say thank you to you, Sean. Thank you to the channel. Thank you to all the contributors, guys. It's always fun to be on here. I'm just happy to be a part of it. I really had fun doing this video. I had fun yesterday getting in the chat with everybody. So, yeah, just really happy this channel's taken off, doing really well. Really happy to be part of this community. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sean, for having me on here.
Well, we are blessed to have you, man. We're so lucky to have your input and to have you on and take the time. I mean, it's a big chunk of change. I consider you kind of just a regular part of this now. You're a part of the team now, as far as I'm concerned. So, anytime you're up for it, anytime you're able, let's do it, man. I love it. So, I'm going to leave that for you guys. We'll be back, obviously, as the news continues to pop up this week for transfers and everything. But until then, I'm going to let you guys enjoy your night. Go hang out. Get off the YouTube. It's been on here for 2.5 hours almost. Go touch some grass. Go outside. Say hello to the sun. But any case, thank you guys. I will see you guys later on. One real quick, Lionheart says, Dylan Eriksen, have you made up your mind for your next move? Where are you going next season?
I think I'm going to go to Sporting. Just
there you go. I hear the seafood in Portugal is nice.
There you go.
All right, guys, take it easy. I will see you guys on the next one. Later.
Have a good one, everybody.